Hi, welcome along to DR Sports. We're here for the big fight tonight. It is a fight with a difference. It is a fight that's captured everybody's imagination, and it is, of course, I still can't get over how these guys have pulled so much interest, right? Because they're not even fully professional boxers, but it's an amazing fight. Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury, and we are going to find out very, very soon. All the talking's going to be over. Who is going to win this one? Joining me, I've got Laurie, I've got Nick, and I've got Kane. We're going to be going through the fight. We're going to be watching the fight and calling it. And let me go first of all to I'm going to go to my brother, Laurie, who loves his boxing. Laurie, this fight is the biggest fight of the year so far.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a YouTuber versus, a professional boxer, in Tommy Fury. But Tommy Fury himself has only had 8 fights and probably more well known to everybody for being on Love Island than being in the boxing ring.
Yeah.
I mean, is this shock to you as a fighting purist?
Well, it is a little bit shocking, but first of all, I do have to correct you somewhat. Jake Paul does hold a professional boxing license, so technically he is a professional fighter, even though, yes, he's a former Disney kid and, YouTuber and all the rest of it, but really he is a professional fighter. He conducts himself like a professional fighter. He's taking it very seriously. He's got trainers who are professional trainers, namely BJ Flores and Jaleon Love. So he's taking it very seriously. He wants to be known as a professional boxer. This is part of his journey. And here we are.
Nick, same question for you. How is it that these guys, right, have listen, this is the biggest fight around. My brother, one of my other brothers, he texted me earlier and said that his daughter was saying, "Dad, ain't you buying the fight?" Right? And he goes, he never knew she was interested in boxing. Yeah. His daughter, by the way, is 14. Yeah. Right? No, sorry, 15. She wants to see the fight. I mean, it's captured the imagination, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I would say is, one of the caveats that January is often a quiet time for boxing because a lot of people take time off for Christmas and don't want to be doing training camps through Christmas. So it's good timing from the professional perspective to do YouTube boxing around this time, just to your point of it being the biggest fight of the year so far. But yeah, it's appetizing. I mean, the thing with these guys, it's not necessarily going to, well, we don't know. We don't think it's going to be the most technical fight, the most brilliant Mike Tyson-esque fight, but definitely a lot of ego and a lot of pride on the line, which is something that we can all relate to. And I think that's where they draw a lot of eyes, really. And I hope your niece got the fight. I hope she's watching.
Yeah, no, I think he said no. She got school tomorrow. but Kane, right? Once again, huge fight, right? Now for Tommy Fury, who not only is he a boxer, but he carries the Fury name. This is an absolute must-win for him, isn't it? I was chatting to some people earlier on today, and they go that he has to win for boxing.
Mm-hmm. The pressure's massive. I think for Jake Paul, it's almost that you can't really lose. Tommy, it's just there's so much on the line. Then you've got the pressure from Tyson and his dad. I feel like a lot of this kind of fight will be won or lost beforehand in the build-up and how much it's got to Tommy, and we'll find out. But there's been a lot of moments where it looks like he's been a little bit rattled by Jake in the weigh-in and the face-offs. I worry for him. I don't want him to win, but I worry for him. I really do.
Todd Miller says Fury will probably give more of a fight than Chelsea did today. Todd's a big Chelsea fan, still hurting from today's result. I mean, he's fighting for boxing, isn't it, Fury?
Yes and no. I mean, I've heard people who come with this narrative that he's fighting.
Well, he's a boxer, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a boxer, but let's be honest, man, he's not a very good boxer. And that is the plain truth of it. If you look at his records, the guys that he's fought so far, yes, he's 8-0, but I think if you look at the combined record of the people he's fought so far, it's something like 20 wins and over 200 losses. So the guys have not been very good. So to put Tommy Fury on a pedestal and say, yeah, he's representing boxing, I'm not so sure if I would put it quite as strong.
A lot of people are viewing it like that.
Yeah, they are, and I can
boxer.
see why they would do. However, those of us who really know boxing know that, let's be honest, Tommy Fury, he wouldn't even win an area title. in professional boxing. An area title is the lowest one you can go for before you go to English and then you go to British. So what I'm saying, you have to understand what we're dealing with here.
But he's a professional boxer, Nick. He's a professional boxer.
He is.
Right?
He is a
He's,
professional boxer. Yeah.
Before even the Love Island stuff, he's known for his boxing. As I said, he carries the Fury name as well. That's the other thing. We saw with the Fury, Tyson Fury, and that said, if you lose, you might have to change your name, and even things like that. I mean, he is representing boxing, really, isn't he? Even whether he's top notch or not.
I think so, and I think a lot of, I agree with Kane, I'm a little bit worried for him because he's seen almost peer pressured into this. It's the thing with this social media thing, he wasn't someone that was going, tell you what, Jake, come over here, let's have a fight. Social media really had to get onto him to make this fight happen. It's been 18 to 24 months in the making and in the build-up, and
ducking it.
Well, I mean, he's potentially ducking it. We're hearing stuff of stomach issues and all types of stuff like that. But he's obviously got this rivalry with KSI as well that's been brewing, and they want to one-up each other. He wants to be the first to take on a professional boxer. Maybe this gets KSI to take on someone of a higher stature professional boxer, and we just don't really know the levels between these YouTube guys who take it seriously, have a lot of money, and the guys that are the quote-unquote real professional boxers. And maybe we can find that out as time goes. As they fight better and better boxers, we'll get a better idea of where these guys really stand. So a lot on Tommy's shoulders tonight, for sure.
Yeah, let me just remind everybody, by the way, of their different records. Starting off, first of all, with Jake Paul. He's 26. He's had 6 fights so far, 6 wins, no losses, 4 knockouts, and he's got a reach of 76 inches, orthodox style, nicknamed the Problem Child. Of course, he's taken on Tommy Fury. He's only 23. He's had 8 fights, 8 wins, no losses, 4 by way of knockout. 6 foot tall, the same height as Jake Paul. He's got 80-inch reach, orthodox, and is known as TNT. But as Laurie was just saying there, hasn't really fought no.
I think Tommy's put a lot of pressure on himself, where the build-up's been going on for ages, and he's always called Jake Paul the YouTuber, and he's always called himself the boxer. But realistically, Jake's almost as much of a pro as Tommy, and he's probably he hasn't shown that respect. If you lose, you've made it worse because you haven't given him respect at all, and you can't at the end go, yeah, I lost to a good professional boxer. You've lost to a YouTuber because that's all you've brandished him as.
Benny here with a super chat. He says, all this attention's huge for growing boxing, but won't matter if we keep all these crooked judges around who are ruining our sport. Ooh. And Kelly James, I think he's a United fan, he says it's boring to be the only team to win a trophy this season. We'll be touching on that tomorrow in the weekend roundup, right? So United fans are obviously very happy after winning the League Cup today. We've got a poll going. Who's going to win the fight? Will it be Tommy Fury, Jake Paul, or will it be a draw? 62% of you at the moment are saying Tommy Fury, 32% going for Jake Paul, 6% for the draw. There was this, you were showing it to me earlier, right? This script that was leaked earlier, which seems to indicate that, now I don't know where this script has come from, but this script seems to indicate it's going to be a fix-up. Tell us about this, Kane.
Yeah, so the script, it just ended up online, and it blew up before people even recognised where it came from, and it kind of gave the ring walks what songs they're going to do. Then it gave a round by round breakdown, and then it said at the end Jake Paul was going to win it. They were going to call out KSI, and there was kind of all this drama, almost like WWE style.
Yeah.
So the promoters have come out and said it's fake, it's not going to happen. But I think it's put so many eyes onto it anyway, especially with all the Love Island drama. It's hooked in so many people that almost don't care about the boxing. They just want the soap style drama. Then eventually we found out it's come from Mike Perry, who was the backup for if Tommy Fury pulled out, he'd have fought Jake Paul. He's mostly from the UFC. He now does bare knuckle boxing. But in the UFC, he was a bit of the shithouse. So once you find out it's come from him, you're like, okay, he's probably just kind of winding up. But even though they've come out and said it's fake, it's from him, there's still that little bit of what if there is something, even if it's not that script, what if there's something kind of in the works? And it's unlikely, but it still adds that element of what if.
I must admit, as soon as I saw that, I thought to myself, that's fake news. Because number one, if you're going to fix a fight, you don't script it out like that. Words would have been had and stuff would have been, shenanigans would have gone on behind the scenes. But to compile a script, that's just straight away. I just thought, nah, that's not.
I think ultimately it is publicity, but it's been good publicity.
But what I would say is this, and I'd be interested to know what you guys think. I've got a theory that if this fight goes to points, the fact that it's a Jake Paul promotion, I don't see them handing him a loss on his own show if it goes to points. So basically what I'm saying is if Tommy Fury's going to win tonight, he's going to have to knock Jake Paul out or at least drop him a couple of times. It's going to have to be an emphatic win. Yeah. If it goes to points, he's not going to get a decision. They're either going to rob him by decision or there's going to be some spurious draw.
That's the case of all boxing when you got when you got the person who's holding the promoter.
That's my contention. If it goes to points,
even with the belts, because they say like for you to, I know like they're not, Jake Paul's not a champion, but in terms of taking a championship from someone, they say you have to really rip it from them. So if it is a draw, that reflects, or like a really competitive fight, even that reflects really poorly because of what you said before about how Tommy Fury's branded Jake Paul as a YouTuber. That would still reflect really poorly on Tommy Fury.
I'll tell you,
it might be it's a Jake Paul show.
But I'm saying just in terms of if it's a really close competitive fight, do you know what I mean?
He might be a YouTuber, but he certainly pulled some of the big names there. They were just showing Mike Tyson at ringside there, Tyson Fury's there. You know, all of the big boys.
Deontay Wilder's
Ronaldo's there. It's local for him.
Ronaldo's there. You know, so, you know, all the big boys have turned out for this fight for a YouTuber. I mean, it's amazing, isn't it, what Jake Paul has done. It's amazing the interest that this fight has gathered. Whether it be a quiet time for boxing or not, I mean, it's crazy.
You even got the WBC now saying if he wins this fight, they'll rank him and he'll be in for a title shot against whoever wins this fight, which is, they put it on the undercard as a title fight. And Jake Paul's always gone, my ultimate goal is to win a world title. And it's like technically he could be 2 fights away from something like that, which...
Well, I think they said he'd get into the top 30. So he'd still have a long way to go.
If it's emphatic, he might go straight into the top 15 if it's a
that would be
solid win.
King's Pitch says, I don't like the fact that Jake will get a ranking. I think this is disrespectful to the boxers who are trying to get their rankings and are putting in the work. How do you think boxers, real boxers, feel about this?
I think they'll be annoyed and frustrated with the ranking, but at the end of the day, they'll still have an opportunity. Provided, obviously, boxing can be dodgy at times, but provided these guys get the opportunity to fight him, and he has to fight his way through the rankings in a sensible manner. If he gets ranked top 30, top 40, and he fights people that are ranked top 20, if they beat him, then he can't progress, the same as everybody else. Do you know what I mean? And boxing is still a business. There's a balance, there's a really delicate balance, always has been, of boxing and boxing talent and guys who... You know, and the business side of things, you know, Derek Chisora's there.
By the way, we're just watching the fight Badu Jack and Makubu, and Badu Jack has just knocked Makubu down. This is the fight before Jake Paul comes on.
This is a
with a big punch sort of behind his head and knocked him down.
If this was to go Badu Jack's way, this would be a massive upset because he's 39 years old.
Yeah.
A lot of people, myself included, had considered him way past his best.
Oh, well, he's doing all right here.
And not a natural cruiserweight either.
Not a natural cruiserweight. That's a good point, Nick.
How do you think he does against Jake Paul?
But that's exactly what I was saying before about shortening that gap between YouTube boxers and real boxers, because you know we'll see where he's at. You know, ultimately, if he gets in there and beats someone that's top 5 ranked, then fair play to him.
I think what I would say is if Jake Paul legitimately beats Tommy Fury, then no matter what anyone says, you have to consider him a proper professional boxer because, okay, I know I did say, and it is true that he's got a professional license, so he has to be considered as a professional fighter. But if you look at his record, he hasn't actually fought a professional fighter up until tonight. So if he goes in there with a professional fighter and hands him a loss, then you got to say he's a legit fighter.
Yeah, by the way, there's over 3,000 of you in the chat. Smash that like button, get involved. This is it tonight. Big fight happening as we see, again, a replay of the knockdown. It was a big knockdown as well by Badu Jack. This is the fight before the big one, right, which of course is going to be Fury versus Paul, and we are all looking forward to it. I went to Well, it was probably about a month ago. I went to KSI's fight, and that was at the Wembley Arena, the Misfits promotion, and it was absolutely packed.
Yeah.
And I have to say, it was a great night. I really, really enjoyed it. I know, obviously, those guys are not, again, professional fighters, but it was really, really entertaining. The fights were really, really entertaining. And it was just a good night. And the other thing about it as well, like sometimes on boxing fights, when you've got the professional fights, people don't really come in until the big fights are coming in. I mean, like the main events are coming. Yeah. That one was packed from the doors opened until the show finished. Yeah. I mean, it's really phenomenal what guys like KSI, Jake Paul and that are doing with his boxing.
Because everything that they lack in, like I say, boxing is made up of a bunch of different components, and the boxing is one part of that. But the rest of it's the entertainment factor and everything that you said, putting on a show, the promotion. So these guys are professional entertainers. The entire card is stacked on the Misfits boxing with guys who are all professional entertainers. So it's always going to be a really entertaining night. They're extremely good at marketing, the promo, even the script, where is it real, is it not? They're really good at that side of things, so it's always going to be a really entertaining night, even if the boxing isn't necessarily as high-level technical.
You worried it could one day take boxing over?
I mean, maybe boxing's always been a sort of fringe sport, if you like where the majority of fans are casuals. It goes up and down, peaks and troughs and different things like that. I mean, how well this does versus traditional boxing is going to depend on how well boxing is doing as a business generally. This wouldn't have been the same. Obviously, there wasn't social media when, I don't know, a Mike Tyson or someone was around, but someone like Mike Tyson's always going to pull numbers because he was entertaining, So what we're seeing with Queensberry tonight is they're trying to find a way to put this YouTube and professional boxing together so that doesn't happen. They're looking at their businesses 5-10 years down the road.
I think they're two separate entities and should remain as such. I mean, we covered the Misfits boxing, myself, Nick and Shane. I think Kane, he was on that too. And yes, it was a great night, but let's be honest, it's not professional boxing as such, but it does provide great entertainment. So I think that the two can coexist and supplement each other, if you like.
I think we say every time that there's elements of the Misfits boxing that real boxing can take with the storyline and building up kind of the entertainment factor of it without having the fighters cross over. With YouTube boxing, where it's been around a few years now, kind of it's died off from being everyone putting on an event, and now it's like Misfits will do it properly, and there's not many that do it well. We see like the Mayweather Chalmers fight the other night.
Last night.
Flopped completely.
Flopped, didn't it? Flopped.
So it's like,
Mayweather
it's
last
not
night.
easy, you can't just get people in the ring and just do it. It's got to be run well.
Got to be run properly.
So that's why it's like YouTube boxing in 10, 15, 20 years might be completely dead. They found kind of the right way to do it. So there's a lot of avenues they've got to explore the right way for it to stay successful over the period of time. Yeah. But it's definitely possible. It's just how they do it.
We see YouTubers put on big football shows, pack out Wembley, and that's packed. And we see some football YouTubers go and sign professional contracts and, that type of thing. But they are still I think it will be somewhat similar to that, where, like you say, we'll figure out
There'll
how
always
we
be
go.
elements, but I don't think it's going to... Like, YouTube boxing isn't going to completely overrule boxing.
Yeah.
But there might be crossovers at times. There'll be things you can take from it. But
For sure.
It's never going to fully...
And also, I mean, Jake Paul and KSI are extremely popular on social media, and so we're talking about professional boxing going in peaks and troughs. The YouTube stuff will go in peaks and troughs as well, because there'll be people that you are less interested in watching box. These two just happen to be really, really people that people are really interested in at this particular moment.
All right, they're showing Jake Paul at the moment, and now they're showing Tommy Fury. Both of them looked pretty relaxed, I'd say, looking at them there, especially Tommy Fury. I do think, though, there's a lot of pressure on him because, whether you want to say it or not, Laurie, boxing is on his shoulders. Boxing is on his shoulders tonight because
there's definitely more
he is
pressure.
viewed as the boxer.
There's definitely more pressure on Tommy Fury, I would say, but there is also pressure on Jake Paul as well because, as I said before, he wants to be known as a professional fighter.
Yeah, he does, but if it doesn't work out for him, he can go back, have a laugh about it,
Even if it
make
does-
a couple of crazy videos about it and move on.
If he loses today, even if it stops his like WBC title push, even if he loses this, he can still go, right, I fought a pro fighter, I lost, fair enough. KSI, end of the year, I'll have you, will be the biggest selling event of the year. Like, he's got that path guaranteed, whatever happens today, where Tommy, if he loses, it's like, right, what's your path now?
Yeah, that's true. But I think with Jake Paul, if he gets smoked. It depends on the nature of the loss. If he loses on a points decision, you can say, okay, it was the first time he came up against a legit professional fighter. He got beaten. It could be down to experience. He needs to grow more as an athlete, as a boxer. On the other hand, if he goes in there and gets smoked, there's going to be a lot of people who say, look, I told you this guy was a fraud. Go back to doing YouTubing. You'll never make it as a professional fighter. So that journey that he was
that
on
professional journey
comes to an
takes a
abrupt
hit.
end. So.
Messi player says if Tommy doesn't win tonight, he needs to choose a new profession. His career either starts or stops tonight. I fear Tyson will even tell Tommy big time if he loses tonight. You two in particular really, really into your boxing. Tell us about Tommy Fury. How good is he?
He's not very good, I've got to admit. I've seen a few of his fights, and yes, he's won them, but he's not looked overly impressive. There was a couple of knockouts on there, but you've got to remember the guys he was fighting were not very good at all. And I mean, they're right at the bottom rung of professional boxing. And even some of those guys he didn't look that good against. I mean, and even in his last so-called fight, I know it was an exhibition, he was fighting a guy there that came in at short notice and he looked poor. Technically, he will argue and say, look, I was just putting on an exhibition. I was just going through the motions. He probably was, but even so, he didn't look good at all. So he needs to look good tonight.
I think that's a little bit. I agree with you for most of that. I think it's a little bit unfair. I think that him being associated with obviously his brother being world heavyweight champion doesn't help him. After 8 fights, his opponents have a combined 256 losses. He shouldn't be doing exhibition fights. That's nonsense. That's ridiculous. It shouldn't happen. But I do think that sometimes with boxers, everybody fights sort of nonsense tin can fighters when they first start. That's everybody does that, and then sometimes you need better level opponents to bring out the best in yourself, right? You might see an Arsenal not play that well against, a League One team for an FA Cup, but then play really well against league champions or something like that. It's very, very similar in boxing. The issue that Tommy Fury has is inactivity. He wants to be this professional boxer. He doesn't really get out there and fight.
Why?
Why what?
Why doesn't he get out there and fight?
So that's the question we're all asking. He's trapped. He's a little bit trapped, I think, between do I do social media full time? His missus is very successful there. Do I do boxing full time? His brother's very successful there, and he himself doesn't really have his own lane. He's always in someone else's show. I think the big pressure for him tonight as well is that he's never been a headliner. He's a bit of a background character, and he seems to be fairly comfortable being a background character, as some people are.
He's even been on the undercard of a Jake Paul.
He's been on the exactly. So he's not, he's not the guy that's the real star showman, and he's gonna have to not just win tonight, but step into a whole different realm of his character. I think that's where the pressure's going to be. I think still, if he's trying to figure it out, he's a young man and he's trying to figure out where he is. And I don't know. I feel a little bit worried for him, to be honest with you.
It's a big guy, though, isn't he?
Yeah.
If you look at his build and that, he looks so impressive.
For sure.
But I also think on the other side of it, where we say that sometimes boxers need to take from the storylines, he's kind of done that, and he's played on the Love Island stuff. It's like, you could be a crap boxer, and from what I've seen, you might be. But you've played a storyline to your advantage. You've made this hype. You're now getting paid for this. So it could be that you're just not a good boxer. You're getting the payday now, and then you'll just disappear again. But you've cashed in on kind of what shouldn't have been there, and you've just used the storyline thing to advantage that so many other boxers aren't doing. Exactly. So in that sense, it's kind of that, if that's what you're doing, fair play, respect you did it.
No, but he's not coming in like that. He's coming in.
That's the thing. That's why his attitude.
Serious. He's coming in saying, "I'm the boxer."
What he's saying isn't matching that, which is the issue.
I'm going to teach him a lesson for disrespecting boxing. So he's coming in with that smoke. By the way, over 4,000 of you now in the chat. Hit that like button. Keep hitting that like button. We're still watching the other fight. This fight is the fight before we get the Jake Paul. Tommy Fury fight. It's Makubu versus Badu Jack. They're into the 7th round. Seems quite an even fight, although Jack did drop Makubu. And this is actually a title fight, isn't it?
Yeah, it's for a cruiserweight title. You may remember, those who watch boxing regularly, Makubu came over a few years ago, fought Tony Bellew. That time he was the champion. He got knocked out. He did drop Tony Bellew early, but then he got knocked out later on in the fight. So. Yeah, I mean, this fight, it's kind of difficult to score because Makubu's the one coming forward and initiating the fight. He's landing some good punches, but he's just been caught again.
He's taking a bit of a punishment here, Badu Jack, but then he comes back pretty well. He looks a bit banged up though, doesn't he? That was a
Great
lovely,
uppercut.
lovely uppercut though. He's hurt Badu Jack there. He's coming forward again.
It's a decent fight.
This is a good little fight, this, by the way. Both of them slugging it out. Big body shot going in there from Badu Jack.
I must admit, Badu Jack's actually doing a bit better than I thought. I didn't think he'd be this competitive, if I'm being honest.
Makabu's, like you said, the favourite. He's younger and, you know, the natural weight, but he's been really inactive for a very, very long time.
Oh, and now he's coming back to Makubu there with some good shots. This is a very good round, by the way. They are just trading shots. The Fury fight's going to have a lot to live up to this one, I'll tell you this. Really, really good round. They're just slugging it out.
No one's
Big
given up.
shots going into
No
the
one's
head
given
and
up any
body.
ground. They're just both coming forwards. It's another great shot.
And this would be the same weight as a...
Yeah, would be.
well,
You got to think they'll be sitting at, well, they'll be focusing on their own fight, but they'll be watching this thinking, I don't really fancy getting in the ring with either one of these guys, to be
No,
fair.
both these guys are light years away from.
Yeah.
oh, and that's a big right hand that went in there from Badu Jack. Big right hand and another body shot there and another one. Trading jabs now. Really, really good round this is. They're both going to be absolutely knackered at the end of this round.
Badu Jack, of course, he fought two of our British world title fighters, James DeGale and George Groves. He beat George Groves and he got a draw with James DeGale. Both very good fights, especially the James DeGale fight. So,
He had that nasty injury, didn't he? Was that the DeGale fight? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is the appetizer before we get to the big one.
What a
which, of
change in
course,
tone that was. Him come up dancing.
Jake Paul, as we can see him there dancing on screen there, is going to be taking on Tommy Fury. Tommy Fury, right, he's a big guy. But does that... You always a lot of times talk about, like, when you're big and you're muscular, how that can actually slow you down in a fight.
Absolutely. With boxing, you have to remember it's not a body beautiful contest. Like, having lots of muscles and all that doesn't necessarily mean anything. In fact, a lot of the time what it does do is it can drain you of stamina, because obviously muscles, they're heavy. You've got to carry that around with you and it saps your stamina. So in boxing, you tend to see the best boxers, they've got more of a lean build, a more fluid build. You look at a lot of the best boxers, they're not heavily muscled. Tommy Fury, he's to be fair, he's lost a bit of weight up top. He's a bit more lean, but normally he likes this kind of body beautiful look, which I'm not sure is best suited to boxing, if I'm being honest. But then at the level of opponent that he's been fighting, he can get away with that because he's just overwhelmed them with his sheer physicality. But as he step up the levels, having big muscles.
Who was the
trust me,
guy? I
doesn't
can't remember
mean
what his name was, but the guy was like 5'9" that he fought, and he couldn't knock him out.
Yeah.
Was it Anthony?
I would go as far as
Based
to
on
say
that,
that
it's weird that it's like if you can't knock out someone who's 5'9", and now you're fighting Jake Paul, it's like how much damage are you really going to do on someone a lot bigger and kind of bigger than you for probably the first time?
to me, Jake Paul is the bigger puncher in this fight.
Jake Paul's the bigger puncher.
I probably agree with that, yeah. I'd say
He is.
so. Yeah.
Because Tommy Fury's saying he's going to go in there and knock him out.
Yeah, it's all right saying that.
Tommy
But
Fury said a lot.
Jake Paul, what I would say about
Bigger
him is-
puncher, Jake Paul.
I think he's probably
and
got better knockout
I'll tell
power.
you why
Yeah.
I say that. I'll tell you why I say that. Because, okay, he's got the 6 wins. I think it's the 4 knockouts. But if you look at some of those fights, okay, they've not been boxers, but they've been like, for example, the knockout wins over Tyrone Woodley and, what's the guy's name? Ben Askren. He flatlined those guys, yeah? Now, to flatline somebody, it's not an easy thing to do. You could beat them up, knock them down, but to hit a man and lay him out before they even hit the floor, not everyone's possessed with that type of ability, you know, to
He
do
was
that.
showing a bit of actual skill in those moments as well. It wasn't just pure power, there was something in it.
Especially
So-
people with fighting experience as well.
Yeah.
Not a random man on the road.
That's right. So he's been blessed with a bit of power there. That doesn't mean to say, of course, he's a great boxer, but what it does mean is that he can punch hard. So be interesting to see if he lands on Tommy Fury tonight, if he can do him any
I think
real
if he
damage.
knocks Tommy down early, that might really shake him up and kind of worry him.
Oh, that was a big punch there. That just went in from Badu Jack. He's got a good chin, that Makubi, because he's taking some big shots and coming back with some of his own here. Good body shots. This is a good fight, by the way.
Both these guys can take a lot of damage. They are two very difficult people to knock
I think
out.
they're showing the fighters that are coming up after this what it takes
For sure.
to fight for a title. You know what I mean? They are absolutely giving it everything, aren't they? It's a good fight.
Okay, not many people in the YouTube scene could stand there and take that type of damage, and you know they're just not. You know, you can't necessarily train your chin, but it's a lot of experience.
But what you're seeing there is years and years of experience.
Exactly.
Of, you know, sparring, fighting, conditioning. You know what I mean? Being used to taking punishment.
What might as well be the interesting thing about it is the nerves factor. Now, when you think about it, Jake Paul, all of his fights have been in front of a mega audience, isn't it?
That's exactly the point I was
Whereas
making
Tommy
before.
Fury's hasn't always been in front of a mega audience, has he?
But even before fighting, Jake Paul's a YouTuber. I know it's not the same with them not being in a live audience, but he's had a huge audience for such a long period of his life. Tommy Fury's
He's always had millions watching him, whatever he does.
Precisely. Tommy Fury's always been Tyson Fury's younger brother. He's not had a huge audience, a huge social media. Love Island was his first big audience, and then boxing's kind of come after that. So yeah, you know, you've got to think that the experience is still with Jake Paul. I don't know. I'd be surprised if I see Tommy Fury knock him out, to be honest with you.
Brian Oblivion says Jake Paul is a great fighter, and I think he's going to win.
Don't know about great fight.
A lot of people asking when is the fight going to be. The fight is going to be straight after this fight that is happening at the moment between Badu Jack and Lunga Makubu. Once this fight is concluded, that is when the fight will happen. It's looking like it's going to be round about 10 o'clock isn't it, at the moment.
Yeah. This one looks like it might go to points.
This is looking like going to the... I don't know. It might not go the distance because they've been banging some big shots in there. They're into round 9.
So there's basically 4 rounds left, 9, 10, 11 and 12.
Smokey Setting says Fury has no knockout power.
Same as his brother, to be honest with you. His brother's not a massive... I know he knocked out Deontay Wilder, but he's not a massive power puncher himself.
Tyson Fury's not a one-punch hitter.
Yeah.
He does hit respect. He does have respectable power.
Yeah.
And you got to remember he's a big man, 6'9",
Yeah.
in excess of 19 stone. A guy like that hits you on the head with
10-ounce gloves.
10-ounce gloves on,
You're gonna feel it.
bandaged up. You're going to feel it.
Tommy Fury had 12 amateur fights and he has had 8 pro fights. His amateur fight record, what's that like?
He didn't do anything significant. That guy there says 12 amateur fights. I heard it was 10. Which, if it was 10, that means I've had more amateur fights than he had. You know what I mean? So, but listen, he wasn't a standout amateur, and he's not a standout pro. But he does come from a boxing family, so he has been around boxing.
Does that account for a
most
lot?
of
The
his
fact
life.
that he's coming from a boxing family. He's coming. His brother's the champion of the world, heavyweight champion of the world.
Yeah, you'd expect basic fundamentals. If you looked at Lionel Messi's son or something like that, you'd expect them to have a little bit of more basic fundamental football knowledge than somebody just walking in off the street. But I think the thing is, what we're talking about with his amateur record, I don't know the details of his amateur record, but
I don't think he won any amateur titles.
He couldn't have been pulling up trees if, while in the midst of his amateur boxing, turning pro, whatever, he decided to go into Love Island. So that tells you a little bit about
I haven't seen any of his amateur fights, but when I've been looking into it, there's been moments where he's said something like, because of basically the family name, I kind of skipped some parts and I rushed it a little bit.
Well, there you go.
So he's kind of gone pro quicker than he should have because of the name.
100%. So for him to be going into Love Island when he's turning pro and different things like that tells you a little bit already about his motivation. If he was on track to go and be a real boxing star, he probably puts Love Island on hold. Do you know what I mean? And there's always been a bit of an asterisk against his name with regards to boxing because of A, going into Love Island, pursuing social media, and B, getting fast-tracked because of his name.
By the way, Makubu's having a good round this round. Pushing Badu Jack back and landed some good, decent shots. Badu Jack could be tiring, which is
39 years old. He's going to start to feel it.
Yeah, those legs are going to start. He looked a bit unsteady there.
And then
Got hit with a big shot there, but he comes back every time.
Yeah, he's always had a lot of heart, Badu Jack.
Comes back every time, and he's doing well. I think, as I said, they're showing what it takes to do it at world level.
Yeah, I mean, this, as I said, this is
2 very tough guys.
miles removed from what we're about to see in.
Even just in terms of heart, I think somebody would have thrown the towel in for one of the next.
Oh, that was a big shot. Oh, that was a big shot. and the round is over.
Badou Jack's put his hand up. Was he putting his hand up because he survived the round, or did he think he did enough to win the round? Could be the former for me.
Big shot.
Yeah, so basically, let me just expand on when I was saying about Tommy Fury coming from a fighting family. You got to remember that his brother Tyson Fury, we all know about, but his dad John Fury was a professional fighter. He's got a cousin Huey Fury, who's a decent fighter, and he's got a couple of brothers, not Tyson, who are also, I think, a guy called Roman Fury, and there's another one who's just embarked on a professional career. So, you know, the Furies are a fighting family.
How would they have helped him in his preparation?
Well, the way they're going to help him is that by being around Tyson Fury, he would have been on some of Tyson Fury's camps. He would have seen how Tyson Fury trains. The dad trains him. He would have been around Tyson. Presumably they would have done some sparring or working out together. So a lot of that's going to rub off on him. Whether it's going to make him, you know what I mean, a much better fighter, we don't know. But he's got the benefit of that experience, being around those guys. That can only help him. How much it's going to help him, we will find out
Like
soon.
you said as well, the fact that, you know, Jake Paul is not short of a few quid, he can afford to employ a lot of expertise. I mean, he's got expertise in his corner, like he's fighting for a proper title fight. I mean, he's been away in a camp. You know, he's taking it seriously, isn't he?
Yeah,
Listen,
he is.
BJ Flores is a former professional world champion. Fought Tony Bellew as well, by the way. Got
Yeah, I
knocked
remember
out.
that.
J-Lo in Love was a top contender, professional fighter from the Kronk Gym. And those guys are training him at the moment. He's also got a strength and conditioning coach full time. He relocates to Puerto Rico before his fights. So make no mistake, he takes it very seriously. You may see him smiling and cracking jokes and all the rest of it, trolling people, but apparently he takes the boxing very seriously.
I think we were talking before about how Jake Paul, the younger Jake Paul on YouTube, he was kind of a bit of a knobhead, but that was just him. And now it's kind of developed where he's still got that, but it's more of a character, and he's kind of had the years of learning, and he's probably grown up and matured quite a lot, but he can still turn on that element just to wind people up when he needs to.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, he's still technically the same kind of person he was on YouTube, but I think he's a lot smarter, he's a lot more, I don't say down to earth, but he's just more like aware of what he's doing, and everything he does is strategic, and he's doing it for a certain reason. It's not just doing it for the sake of it. Everything is tactical with him.
Yeah, I've grown to like his personality much more.
I like this comment here from a guy called Cloud Strife. He says, your family can't fight for you. And that's very true, isn't it?
It is true. It is true. But at the same time, I think with your family, what you have is a certain relationship. You know, it's very different. I'm sure, like, you know, BJ Flores and the other guys are taking it very seriously, but when you're getting paid, when you're paying a trainer and paying a coach, it's not the same level of relationship that you have, the discipline with your dad and your uncles in your corner and training you and pushing you and different things like that, or at least it was for my dad pushing me and training me when I was young. You know, so there's a little bit of a difference there, but you know, we'll see what happens. But Jake Paul, definitely, you can't knock his professionalism, his growth.
That's a good shot there by Badou Jack. Good uppercut.
I
This is a good
I
fight.
can't believe
Big
Jack's
shot.
still in this. I can't believe he's still in this. 2 or 3 good
He's
punches.
having a good round.
Oh, he's
Big left hooks going
big
in there.
punches going in. Another big left hook. This is a good round for Badou Jack. He said he might tire. He's showing more stamina here than Makubu. It's a really good fight. They're slugging it out, aren't they?
Yeah, it's a proper
HYS
slugfest.
Football says, if you guys consider Tommy as a proper fighter boxer, Jake is as well. Anderson Silva beat a former world champion who went 12 rounds with Canelo in 2021, who is now, who we know is class. He's going to beat Tommy.
He's referring to Julio Cesar Chavez, who's the son of the great Julio Cesar Chavez. So the fight before Jake Paul, Anderson Silva fought Julio Cesar Chavez and outpointed him. So yeah, you could look at that and say that, yeah, that was a very good fight for Jake Paul to beat a guy that beat Julio Cesar Chavez. However, I should point out that the Julio Chavez Jr. that fought him was very undermotivated, out of shape, and basically just turned up for a payday.
Yeah, I was going to say you can't compare the two
Yeah, you can't
situations. On paper, I get it, but they are drastically different situations. But I agree with the comment to that. I still think that Jake Paul should probably beat Tommy Fury, to be fair. I still would probably make Jake Paul the favourite.
Well, hold that, because when we get to the fight, I'm going to be asking you guys who you think is going to win the fight. I am surprised that you're making the YouTuber the favourite. You know, but that's gone down there.
That's the second time Makubu's been on the
yeah.
floor, and that could be the deal breaker, you know.
He's down.
Two
He's getting a
knockdowns,
count.
that's
6,
2 10-8
7,
rounds.
8.
39 years old, Badu Jack. Unbelievable,
Jack
still
looking
going.
in good shape here. Makubu comes fighting back, but now he's taking some big shots.
He looks
big
hurt.
combinations
Badu
here.
trying to finish it.
He's ready to go.
Trying to finish
He's
it.
ready to go
Oh,
now.
he's there. He's
He needs an uppercut to finish this.
That's another big shot.
There
Some
we go.
big
He
head
needs
shots
that
unanswered.
uppercut.
Oh.
Another big shot there. This is a good fight.
He needs an uppercut to
Lining
finish
up
this, I
another
think.
shot there. Badu Jack.
And Makabu just covering up and trying to get through this.
It's a very good fight. A good
body shot
Body
there.
shot hurt him there.
Makubu looks out on his feet.
He definitely does.
This is round number 11, by the way. One round after this. Still a long way to go in this
Oh!
round. Have to finish
Great
it off. Big
combination.
shots.
Combination.
Big shots going in there from Badu Jack. And again, another nice little hook. Oh, he's taking some punishment in there, Makubu.
90 seconds of this is going to be a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
Ooh,
There's another great
another
right
big
hand.
shot.
Another great right hand. He's
And
going
he looks
down
like he's
slowly.
going down again. He's taking some punishment in there, man. Oh, another one. Another left hook.
Makubu
If he can get one or two clean shots, the fight could be over.
Yeah, his
Makabu's
legs look
trying to
unsteady,
stay in.
don't they?
Yeah,
You see that?
He can't even. Yeah, he can't turn
Look
his
at his
body
leg.
Look
properly.
at him. He looks completely unsteady. Not just legs, body, everything.
This is an upset, you know.
Yeah, it really is. Like I say, it's that inactivity again, and Badu Jack doing what a lot of fighters don't want to
Oh,
do.
lovely
Great
combination
combination.
again.
Oof.
He's a really good shot,
He's
by the way.
strong,
Badu
this
Jack.
guy, isn't it?
He's still so
Look
fit at this
look at his
rate.
legs. Look, his
Still
legs.
bouncing around.
Yeah, very impressive.
This is what a lot of fighters don't want to do, Laurie. Go up a weight class as they get older, as they struggle to make that weight. A lot of them try to drain themselves and go down. He goes up a weight class.
Nearly 5,000 of you in the chat. Comments at the moment. Hit that like button. Coming up after this fight is going to be the big one. Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury. We're not far away now.
I'll tell you what.
This is moving into the 11th round.
If their fight is half as good as this,
And this is a
they're
really
in for
exciting
treat.
fight here. Badu Jack and Makubu. And Makubu's coming back now. What a strong guy he is.
If it goes to points, you've got to think it's going Badu Jack's way now. Surely, after two
That's the end of that
knockdowns.
round. One round to go.
A lot of people may not know, but Badu Jack actually boxed for Sweden in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Well, he's representing Sweden tonight.
Yeah.
So, wow.
He's a man of faith as well, so devoted Muslim.
Vortex 2 TSG says,
Good
I'm starting to think Fury is going to win because Jake's just a YouTuber. I'm fighting for, 2 years? While Fury is coming from a boxing family. Malasa Kima says, I hope that Jake wins. What time is it starting? It's Tink. Well, it's coming up straight after this fight, and this fight is about to move into the last round, and then that's when we're going to get is Deontay Wilder there wearing a phobe at ringside, seems to be really enjoying himself. This fight, of course, taking place in Saudi Arabia. This is the last round of the fight, and they're getting a big cheer from ringside because it has been a really, really good fight.
Yeah, 100%. This for YouTube boxing, this is what it needs as well. Do you know what I mean? Good quality undercards, good quality boxing.
Yeah.
Because it's basically a new sport. Do you know what I mean? So if there are poor fights, it reflects badly on the sport overall. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, even for like the traditional boxing, this
Exactly.
helps because then if everyone's watching for Jake Paul,
Exactly
you're watching this fight out of all of them. And if you see this and go, yeah, this is quite good, let me check it out, it's only going to help.
Michael Talbot says Jake is so annoying, but I think he's going to win.
I think that's part of it. I think that's part of his appeal, though. You know, everyone post Mayweather wants to make themselves the bad guy. Wants to make themselves. People want to tune in to try and watch you lose. Do you know what I mean? More than trying.
Big shot again there. Big shot again there by Badu Jack.
Oh,
And now he's all over
stopped.
him.
He stopped.
And he stopped
Yeah.
him. He stopped him. Badu Jack has won it. He's won it. That was a great display by him, and he's won the fight there. Mike Tyson really, really happy. Remember, he was stood with Badu Jack before he came into the ring, so he's obviously good friends of his, and that's a big win for Badu Jack. He is the new world champion.
That is a big upset.
He stopped him.
I remember
Really good fight.
Nick will probably remember this. It wasn't that long ago that people were talking about a fight between Canelo and Makubu.
Yeah,
Remember?
when we were talking about him going up to cruiserweight. I think he took the Bivol fight instead.
Yeah. But he's wishing he took the
I was going to say, it would have been
now,
good to see him take
because,
fight Makabu,
based on what I've seen tonight, Canelo would have walked through him.
Canelo's still great in my opinion.
But let's not take anything away from Badu Jack. Trust me when I tell you that that's quite a seismic win. No one really gave him a chance tonight. 39 years old, moving up in weight, as Nick said. Everyone had Makubu win. Not that Makubu was anything special, but everyone just thought that he'd be too much for Badu Jack. Well, I'm afraid
Finished it off brilliantly, didn't he? Lovely combination.
Great stamina to have that type of
in the 11th
output.
round.
In the 12th round in the end.
12th round,
to put it on him and have that, you know.
I'll tell you what also impressed me about that win is if you look at the accuracy, whenever Badu Jack threw punches, he landed. And that, you know, look at that finishing sequence. 3, 4. That's 4, 5, all landing
6.
clean. 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, once punches are going straight through the
It
guard.
was the first time he really unleashed as well. He waited for it for the perfect moment and went one and I'm done.
Once somebody's got their guard up and all punches are going straight through the guard, it's pretty much over at that point.
Yeah, and he's landing.
Jack Mannion says Fury is a model. Influence lived off of his brother's name in the fight game. Paul dropped his ego to focus on changing his reputation to be a boxer, when the easy thing would have been to just do his Disney.
That's
Brian O'Bivian says Fury might be from a boxing family, but Paul is simply too solid to get knocked out.
Fury is ultimately here just on his name, because he got into Love Island by being Tyson's brother.
Yeah.
He got onto this part by being in Love Island. It's not whether he's got the talent or not. He's not here because of talent. He's here because of the surname.
Yeah,
that is it.
Of the first two comments, I agree with the first guy that, you know, or the first commenter rather, that Jake Paul's definitely dropped a lot of ego and, you know, been really, really disciplined and doing things that are quite difficult when he could make the same amount of money, maybe slightly less, doing something that's a hell of a lot easier. He's taken a difficult road.
He was super rich before doing boxing.
Exactly.
You didn't need to do boxing for money. He's done it for kind of the love of it.
For sure.
Well, it's this fight has come to its conclusion. They will just, of course, give out the results and present the belts, and I guess they'll do a quick interview with the fighters, and then it's on to the big one. The big one tonight, which of course is Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury. Massive, massive fight. It's what we've all been waiting for. It's what's keeping the kids up tonight. Many kids who are going to be coming into school tomorrow tired, right? I think. Why, as I said, why is this fight on a Sunday?
Because I'll tell you why it's on a Sunday. Because apparently they had a big horse race in Saudi Arabia yesterday.
Oh yeah, the Saudi couple.
Saudi Arabia is very invested in horse racing. So they moved it to a Sunday. But I think moving it to a Sunday is a good look, because that means it doesn't clash.
I think quite a lot of the YouTube
else.
events as well have been on a Sunday, just to kind of not clash with if it's UFC or a big boxing fight on a Saturday night, or even just like the football. They just kind of want everyone to be focused on that, and there's nothing to clash with. And the YouTube side, it's definitely worked, so it makes sense to kind of carry it on.
And make no mistake, this is a massive fight. I said to somebody yesterday, and at first they didn't agree with me, but then once I explained what I was talking about, they did agree with me. This is the biggest fight of the year in terms of the interest that it's attracted. And I would say, I don't know about UK, actually let me know what you think. I think that combat sports wise, this is the biggest fight this year.
Especially when we've got the UFC coming up in London next month. That hasn't got anywhere near the interest of this. I think
so that shows you.
If KSI and Jake Paul fought in December as kind of planned, I think that will be the biggest one. This will be the second biggest. If that one doesn't happen, I think this will be the biggest combat event not necessarily in terms of like how traditional boxing fans see it, but for the general audience and kind of numbers it does, the reaction it gets, this will be the most mainstream out of all of them this year.
Gunavettel says Robbie is the GOAT of reading comments. Big up, Robbie. Love that. Yes, we read your comments. And Nicholas Allison says biggest fight, and then he's got a thumbs down emoji. It's facts. It's the biggest fight.
It's biggest fight, not in terms of who the fighters are. I mean, it's not an Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford type situation. But, you know, in terms of the interest it's attracted across the world globally, it's easily the biggest fight.
I think especially for casual boxing fans, other than like you've got Fury, Joshua, there's not many else really attracting the big names. And kind of, especially if if Tyson Fury starts to give up or just kind of retire, if Joshua isn't doing what he did before, there's no obvious names for the casual fans to kind of go, you're the next guy. It's like, once Fury and Joshua are done, I don't know, as a casual boxing fan, who's next. Yeah. Where YouTube boxing, you know, there's going to be
it's the biggest
something.
fight. They're signed, sealed, and delivered. Do you know what I mean? The others, all the other fights that would potentially be bigger are not done yet, and potentially don't even look close to being done. So,
well, there was a big fight that was signed yesterday. Actually, that was for the Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis.
Has that been signed yesterday?
Yeah,
I didn't even know that.
That's going to take place in April, but of course that's April.
Yeah.
But what we're saying is, as of today,
But will that sell more pay-per-view than this?
Well, I was going to say, I'm not so sure it will.
I don't think it will.
It won't.
Yeah, JHP7120 says, I don't think Jake will be able to cope with the quick Fury combinations. I also think that we haven't seen Jake being challenged yet, so I think it's going to be a struggle against Tommy.
I think he's fought Tyrone Woodley twice. The first Tyrone Woodley fight was quite, how can I put it? It's quite competitive. There wasn't a lot of quality, I'll be honest. I watched that fight. Tyrone Woodley was trying to say that he won. I don't think he did enough to get the win. They had the rematch, and in the rematch, Jake Fury knocked him out cold. So, you know, there you go.
Well, we are not far away from it now. They're just speaking to the victor of the last fight, Badou Jack, in the ring. And then once they finish speaking to him, the fight is on. The fight is on, the big one today. 6,000 of you in the chat. Thank you very much for joining us. We are here for the big one tonight. It is Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury. We've waited a little while for this one to happen, but it's finally here, and I'm looking forward to this fight tonight. It's the YouTuber versus, do I call him the boxer?
The Love Islander.
The Love Islander, the boxer. He's a bit of everything, isn't he, Tommy Fury? But he is the boxer. He's a professional boxer who, before going on to Love Island, was making his way in boxing. That was what he started in. He fought as an amateur as well. It's on him tonight for boxing. He's got to do the business.
I'm not so sure about that.
Why are you ducking it? He's the boxer.
He is the boxer, but Jake Paul is also a professional boxer. Jake Paul has a professional license.
Professional license. They've given it to him because they know what he's pulling at the moment and stuff like that, and to kind of legitimise the whole event. But he's a YouTuber.
Tommy Fury has a boxing license because of his brother, so they're both taking
he
some.
boxed as an amateur as well, didn't he?
For 12
He's
fights.
been doing this as his career, hasn't he?
I would say he's been doing it.
What else does he do?
Career is a very strong word.
What else does he do?
Before Love Island, boxing would not, on his own, pay for his mortgage and his bills and all that kind of stuff.
What was he doing before it?
I couldn't tell you.
That's what I mean. We only know him for boxing.
His career isn't being a boxer. His career is being with Molly May. That is his career now. This is his hobby on the side.
But even before Molly May, he was that because he met Molly May in Love Island. He was a boxer.
No,
he's a boxing. He's making his way. Yeah, all right, he may have been living off his brother's reputation, but he's trying to make his way in boxing. Then he went into the Love Island house, and that became bigger than the boxing.
Yeah, but I think it's possible to overstate that because there's a lot of people who are trying to make their way in boxing. Doesn't mean they're very good. What I'm saying is that you could argue that Jake Paul's taken his career more seriously than Tommy Fury has to date. Because as I said, he's gone off and got himself top trainers. He's got recognised training camps. The man goes to Puerto Rico before every fight to train. You know what I mean? Apparently he lives, eats and sleeps boxing when he's not doing his YouTubing stuff. So
Tommy Fury himself says, I'm the boxer. I am the boxer. I'm not going to lose to this guy. I cannot lose to this guy. I'm the boxer.
Yeah, but he's going to say that, isn't he? He's got to say that.
Why?
If he goes, I'm the Love Islander, he doesn't get on this.
Yeah.
Jake Paul doesn't just fight a Love Islander. Jake Paul's fighting him to fight a boxer.
Yeah, he's the boxer in the loosest possible term.
Taz says if Tommy loses this, he loses. His reputation's gone.
Yeah,
I
his
think
reputation's teetering
He doesn't
anyway.
have much of a reputation left.
Yeah,
He
100%.
really doesn't.
100%.
No, if he wins this,
I was talking about if
I
he
think it'd
loses.
be great for his reputation.
Yeah, but
Even
we're
if you
talking
win this, you've beaten a YouTuber.
No,
Well done.
I look at it different. I do think, right, whether you guys don't want to label him the boxer or not, right, if he wins this fight, a lot of the boxing fraternity are going to say, yeah, well, especially if he won it impressively. If he goes out there, knocks out Jake Paul, not only is that going to be a thing where, you know, a lot of the boxing fraternity say, yeah, well done, man. You went out there, taught him a lesson, right? And plus as well, is for his boxing career, if he wishes to pursue that, he'll be a name all of a sudden, a massive name and a massive scalp in boxing, so lots of people will want to fight him, or he'll be able to put on stuff himself.
No, you are right. You are
So
right.
agree with that.
Before that, I think Tommy
this
then
is
has,
absolutely huge.
if
for
Tommy
him.
wins, he then has to change his tone after he's won and go, yeah, he's fair play, he's a boxer. You can't keep calling him a YouTuber, because otherwise, if you
That
keep
would
doing
discredit
that,
yourself,
you're
yeah.
discrediting yourself by just beating a YouTuber. You need to give him the respect as right. You're a professional
Who, Jake
boxer.
Paul?
Yeah.
I think Jake Paul's always going to be a YouTuber though, because unless he just goes into boxing full time, starts coming through the ranks and stuff like that, and I just can't see him doing that. I just can't see him just. Is he going to do that? Like,
Well, I
like
think-
hard yards now for the next 3-4 years.
I think this is his way. Tonight is his way of testing it. Do you know what I mean? I think it's going to go, depending on what happens tonight, will tell him whether or not he feels that he's got the steel to do this on a regular basis and take it up a notch and stuff. If he walks in and bangs out Tommy Fury in 2 rounds, he'd have to go home thinking, I can do, even if it is an inflated ego, even if I beat a professional football team from League One, my brain's going to start going, how far can I go in this actually? Do you know what I mean? Your brain would have to naturally go that way. But if he loses, then obviously he's going to go, well, if I can't beat this guy, then I'm not going to step in there with someone like Badu Jack. You know, it's just never going to happen.
Now, like Jake Paul on YouTube doesn't even really do much. It's like the last 2 years he's been a boxer more than a YouTuber.
Correct, yeah.
And it's just what moment do you switch? Because like Ben Foster in football, he was a footballer. Stop that for YouTube. A lot of people now call him a YouTuber because that's what they know him from. So it's
Yeah.
like, at what point does Jake
If he
Paul
went on the
switch from
news-
YouTuber to boxer?
if he went on the
and
news,
if you
what
beat
would they
him,
put up as,
yeah,
you know?
if you beat Tommy Fury and then you start getting the rankings, at what point do we stop going, he's the YouTuber to he's the boxer who just happened to be a YouTuber once?
Well, it's interesting. We're looking at the screen now at Carl Froch. I don't know if you know, but
Yeah,
Jake Paul's been calling him out.
Calling out Carl Froch.
And
I would
Carl
love to see
Froch
Carl
has
Froch.
actually said that if Jake Paul beats Tommy Fury tonight, he'd be willing to entertain that. So you
Yeah,
could be looking there at Jake Paul's next opponent. Should Jake Paul come through tonight?
I don't think that'd be a good idea for
Jake Paul.
Jake Paul, even though Carl Froch hasn't fought for years.
Well, Carl Froch
But
is what,
everyone
40
in boxing now
how
will
old
look at
is
Jake
Carl
Paul
Froch?
going, he's
40s?
the money fight.
42,
Everyone's
43.
going to want Jake Paul because they'll think, especially if
Yeah.
they think they can beat him, he's an easy payday. You get your name in the headlines again.
I'd love to see Carl Froch fight Tommy Fury for sure.
But the interesting thing about this
Jake Paul,
situation
sorry.
is that Jake Paul's actually called him out. He's also called out Conor McGregor.
But I'm also saying though that if Tommy Fury wins this could, if he is wanting to be a boxer, this could set him on the path to.
It could set
This
him
is
on the
definitely
path.
step one. It's not the
Yeah,
finish
but
product,
he
but this
wouldn't
is
be
the first step
recognised
to
as
it.
a massive win.
It's a tough one because you get this again. The business gets in the way of boxing so much because he's getting paid so much money for tonight. If he wins this fight, that's 9 fights that he's had still against nobody. This would be the biggest name on his resume. How much money is he going to demand for the next fight? And that next person might not be a top 15 person. The numbers just might not quite make
But
sense.
from what I'm hearing,
rematch.
probably have to be a
there's a
rematch.
rematch clause.
Yeah, but I mean,
If-
after the rematch, he can't jump from where he is now to a top 10.
If Tommy Fury
fighter.
wins, his next lucrative fight is KSI.
Exactly.
That's the fight that gets you the money.
That's
so it's,
why.
do you go the money or do you go, I want to be a boxer?
That's why I don't think that even if he beats Jake Paul, it will be a catalyst for his boxing career. I think it can be, Robbie. I think you're right, it can be, but I think the money just won't be there.
Anthony says it's a win-win for Jake. Tommy has everything to lose. Even if Tommy wins, his career still doesn't take off. If he loses, it's game over.
Exactly.
I disagree. I do think if he wins, he's not going to take off in that we're talking about world titles and that. He's just going to take off that he's going to be able to demand a lot of money. And, you know, he's a name, isn't he? He's all of a sudden...
Yeah, but
in
he say
boxing, if
he
you
would
demand
demand
a lot of money,
but who would he fight?
That's why in boxing, if you demand a lot of money with no belts, people just say no. and that's it.
Even before the fight, did you see when they were doing the interviews? Jake said, "Make it all or nothing. The winner takes kind of whoever's money." He wouldn't say it. He was just sat there going all quiet, trying to avoid it. And his dad's gone, we'll do it. He didn't want to do that. He didn't back himself for that.
But I don't blame him for that.
No, of course, but this is my issue with Tommy, and not my personal issue. You know, he's a young man, he's making his way in the world, fair play to him. But this is my issue with Tommy generally, is that a lot of the biggest chat from his camp doesn't come from him personally. It comes from people behind him.
It's always his dad bigging up more than him, always.
Exactly.
His dad doesn't like
Mind you, the dad is very
likes to
loud.
get involved, don't he?
But that's not the point. I mean, yeah, but if the dad screws you out of millions because he was opening up his mouth when he had no place to, and potentially talking you into fights that in your heart you feel that you aren't quite ready for.
I think that's that gypsy spirit in his dad, you know what I mean? That proud, like, yeah, come on then, we'll take that. You know what I mean? Who cares? You know what I mean?
Personally, I don't think there's much validity in that contract thing.
No, of course not. Of course
Do you
It's
really
more of a-
think that if Tommy Fury loses,
This
he
is the
won't get
moment.
no money?
This was the moment it happened. But even if it's not like a technicality, it's more the mental side of it. Even with like having your dad saying, if you lose this, you can't use my name. If you use this, we're disowning you. Like, how much is that going to affect him walking to the ring? Knowing?
Tommy Haig, take the missus' name. That's what she's already the main breadwinner in the house. Why not?
Who's the better fighter out of him and his brother? Well, I'm talking Jake Paul now.
I thought you asked about Tommy Fury. So you mental.
Well,
No, Jake Paul, Logan.
I think Logan started the better fighter. Now it's Jake because Jake's
Jake
taking
Paul's
it more
done.
seriously.
I saw Logan Paul in a exhibition match against Floyd, and he looked pretty poor. Actually, he was a lot bigger, a lot stronger.
Even
a lot
that
younger.
one, he didn't take that seriously.
Yeah.
It was we'll do it for the money. Neither of them really cared. And his fight against KSI was the big one. And obviously they've gone off and done Prime, and that's their money now. So, like, he's in the WWE now, and I think he's enjoying that more.
Well,
He's just doing side missions.
Working with the scripts. He's done
no, but
whatever
you know
he
what
wants.
it is? I think they're both high school wrestlers, aren't they?
Yeah.
They were both. I think I was watching an interview with Jake Paul. He said he was like state for like 2 or 3 different. I think he played either hockey or lacrosse, and he was a state wrestler. So he's been
They've
an
always
athlete.
had the combat background.
Yeah, he's been an athlete for a very, very long time.
Anyway, we started to get close to the fight happening. We're waiting for the ring walks. What sort of extravagantic ring walks are we going to see? The talking is going to be over. This is what I love about boxing, you know what I mean? Because you can talk before the fight, but then when you get in there, the talking's over. For Tommy Fury, Tyson won't be in there to help you. For Jake Paul, you know, all your YouTube followers won't be in there to help you either. It's you and the man in the next corner. And that's what I love about boxing. The talking stops.
I'll be interested to see how the tactics play out, because Tommy Fury there, as you can see in the face-offs and the weigh-ins, he's been very aggressive, in your face, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But I would reckon that when the fight actually starts, you'll probably box behind the jab and wait for openings. He's
I'd
not going to
expect
run
Tommy
in
to
there
be
and
really
be
cautious
reckless.
and sit back and almost let Jake come to him and then
Yes.
see what he's
Yeah.
like. Where Jake, I'm unsure whether he'll go cautious or he'll just go screw it.
In
I'm
fact,
going in early.
I'd go as far as to say, guys, and I don't want to put a downer on it. This is not going to be like a rock'em sock'em all-out war. Certainly not to start with. I think it's going to be very cagey. There's not going to be a lot of action in it. I think what you'll see is, as the fight develops, then we'll see more action. But it's not going to be one of those where the bell goes and they're going to just go straight into it. I don't see that.
There's just
at
too
all.
much on the line, I think, to go with that type of style.
I think
That's a risk
Jake,
with
Jake
any
Paul
two
can
people
risk
on the
it
planet.
if he wants to, because
Yeah.
he's almost got nothing to lose. So if you go for the entertainment style and you win first round, amazing.
Yeah.
If you go for entertainment, you lose. Okay, you lost to a professional
Do
boxer.
you think he's got nothing to lose, though? I think Jake Paul's got a lot to lose.
He's
bro.
got some stuff to lose, but not like career
Not as much as
devastation.
Tommy.
Not as much as Tommy
he
Fury,
loses
but we've
this,
all
he can
said
fight
on the
KSI
panel.
and get the money regardless. Like,
Yeah,
there's
but
no
we've all
financial
said
issues.
on the panel that he takes it extremely seriously. He's invested a lot of money in training camps, professional trainers. So to say that you're doing all that and then you lose, and then you think,
Yeah,
no.
but then you just go back to the YouTube world, you have a laugh about it and think.
This would be a big
and
blow
then you
if
can
he
still
loses.
go and fight KSI.
But I mean, like you're right. It'll be a big blow, but that blow will be a personal blow to himself, not
Yeah.
necessarily a financial blow. Every door that's open to him will still be open to him if he loses.
Yeah.
Whereas
Still
for Tommy,
fight
every
KSI.
door that's open to him, some of those doors will close.
I do
should
accept that.
So that's the difference.
Boxing is technically Tommy's career. This is Jake's. Even though he's taking it seriously, it was a side hobby. It's never
Exactly.
been. He wasn't growing up going, I want to be a boxer. I need to do this. Where Tommy,
I'm still not
he's like
convinced.
lived this.
I'm still
style.
not convinced that Tommy grew up saying that. To be honest with you, I'll be honest.
He's been
but-
forced to live it.
It's
whether he wanted
intriguing,
to.
like what you were saying there, Laurie, to see what the style's going to be. Because for me, if you're a boxer, what you want to do is get in there first of all and just be behind that jab. Just jab, 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 and then just looking for the openings and then knocking this guy's head off, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like Tommy will want
But the way Tommy's been talking, and it's, he might rush out there and just try and blaze him out.
I don't think he'll do that.
No, but this is the problem. Everything
What's
is
his stamina
pressure.
like as well?
Everything is
Eight
pressure.
rounds.
Exactly. Everything's pressure on him, and everything that he does puts more pressure on him. So all the talking puts more pressure on him. We haven't seen him necessarily go late rounds and fight long fights. That's more pressure on him. He's just such an unknown quantity. You know, if he walks in there and just
Tommy's
knocks him
fight
out,
could just go out the window as soon as he steps in. With
Exactly.
everything that Jake's done to him, even the walkout's probably going to rattle
Exactly.
him to an extent.
Exactly.
His game plan could just go as soon as he's in the ring.
if I had Jake Paul's money, some of the stuff that I would do, like I would just pay people that are in like the first front 3 or 4 rows to like troll Tommy and throw him off his game plan. Like you could, because like you said, it's his promotion, so he's in control of everything.
In the leaked script, the walkout that was planned was amazing because it was Jake walking out to Mr. Stewart Girl dressed as a baby because he's just had his kid. Like, even if that did happen, amazing. Tommy's rattled.
Yeah.
But Jake's the kind of
Tommy
guy where
does
he's
seem to
going to
get rattled by quite a lot.
In this walkout, he's going to do something to get under Tommy's skin,
Yeah.
and it's going to work.
100%. He does seem quite an emotional character. So is Tyson, but Tyson plays it off very well because that's why Tyson goes on the offensive with like the mind games, because he doesn't want to be on the receiving end of the mind games. But Tommy Fury, we're just getting some highlights of him now, but he is just so rash,
wild,
so emotional.
Even when they've interviewed Tommy today, like 2 hours ago, there was one where he was sat there and he's on the chair, all laid back like that. And you could tell he was overcompensating. And like the guy was nervous, but he was trying to play it off cool.
Exactly.
But if I'm sitting here and I can see it, then like
Jake Paul
knows that you've been rattled for
BJ
weeks.
Flores and the guys in the camp can see it, and everyone can see it for sure.
Even when they were doing their kind of the face off before, and he's just gone bean dip, and just flicked his nipple, and then it's been enough to send Tommy crazy. Like if that's rattling you, I'm worried when you step in the ring.
Yeah.
Because he's gonna. The whole fight, Jake's going to be saying stuff to you. He's going to be trying to
100%.
rattle you while you're fighting.
100%.
Well, we're not far away from it now. Here's Michael Buffer. Right,
Derek
getting
Chisora was
ready
on the phone
with
in the middle of the ring.
Yeah, Derek Chisora, who's just seemed to be in the background of this thing all the way through. I keep thinking, what's he doing there in everything?
No, he's part of the promotion. They've got him over there to hype it up and stuff like that. So.
He's not a great talker on the press
need
conferences.
hyping up. What's he
He's not a
doing?
great
They're
talker on
just
the
paying
press.
everyone to come over.
They
and
are,
just
but
be a face to it.
when I first saw that he was part of it, I thought it was quite not sensible, but it made sense because he's also not a top level fighter, but he does have a big social media following and a cult following for all his crazy antics and stuff in the past. It the brand of him makes sense with the brand of this type of fight, but he just shouldn't talk. He shouldn't do it when he does interviews and press conferences. It's just a mess. Do you know what I mean? Just being there is fine, and I don't know if you saw the press conference, but it was awful. It was really poor.
I think it's about time I find out who you guys think's going to win. I'm going to start off with you, Kane.
Do you know-
Who's winning the fight, Jake Paul or Tommy Fury?
I haven't actually decided yet. Before this fight actually happened, and it was kind of talk, I was 100% Paul does it. Now it's kind of, I think because so many people are now backing Paul, the underdog mentality in me is like, right, people are writing off Tommy too much.
Yeah.
But then when I think about it, I'm like, no. Because I've watched every Tommy fight since Love Island, and I've never been impressed. And I've watched Jake Paul, and I've been impressed. So I'm like, it's got to be him. So I reckon 5th round knockout.
Jake Paul?
Yeah.
I'm going Jake Paul, bro. I think the only way Tommy Fury wins this fight is if he can knock Jake Paul out. I think I could see a scenario whereby Tommy Fury does the better work, for want of a better word, but comes up short on the scorecards. But listen, it's a Jake Paul promotion. They selected Tommy Fury for a reason. And I think in the final analysis, you're going to see Jake Paul hand raised.
Jeez.
Yeah, I thought Jake Paul round 7, but then that's what the leaked script said. So now I want to change it because even if it was scripted, they'll definitely be changing it now. But yeah, my gut said Jake Paul round 7. I think they'll keep it long enough to be entertaining, but I think that he'll win.
Jeez.
Don't be surprised if you see a really dodgy draw. Again, Tommy Fury does a better
We
work,
definitely
but he
know
don't
that
get
they
around.
want a rematch. That's the thing. That's where we're not sure.
Because KSI Logan went to a draw, and it's kind of similar audience. I feel like if you do a draw again, that's when it feels really scripted. Because KSI Logan Paul, you get away with it. If it's a draw,
Anyway,
you go fair enough. But for this
Tommy
one,
Fury here walking out of the tunnel. You know what? Because you've all gone for Jake Paul, I'm going to go for Tommy Fury. Come on, Tommy.
Don't be surprised if you see the dodgy draw.
By what points? Knockout?
I don't even know what.
I'm just saying.
I'm just going for him because, you know, you're all going for him.
Tommy's outfit was in the script. It was. He's going to wear an outfit for his daughter, and he's got Bambi written across the front.
Well, he looks like Bambi in the headlights.
So we started off well.
Well, it's Tommy Fury making his way out of the tunnel, and there's Michael Buffer announcing him. And yes, this is it. This is it. 8,000 of you in the chat. Welcome along. Don't forget to smash that like button. This is it. The big fight is on. There is Tommy Fury. All the talking is over. It's time to shine. And according to the script that we got earlier, yeah, he's wearing... Well, they could easily have known that, couldn't they?
Can people in the comments tell us what he's walking out to?
I wouldn't mind betting, that this is the highest paid a novice pro has ever been.
100%. 100%.
In the history of boxing.
100%.
And
the highest profile.
Yeah.
And the highest profile as well.
For a novice pro,
but yeah, in terms of the script stuff, a lot of this stuff could easily be known and people be talking about it and stuff like that. It's not.
A lot of it's the obvious kind of what you go to.
The most hype fight, let's go, says Matty. What are you guys saying out there? Who do you think's going to win? I want to hear from you guys. Top G says Tommy. Tim says Fury. Yes. Who are you guys going for out there? I want to know who you're going for. Tommy Fury says Andrea. Michael says Tommy. Jake Paul says AT. Conrad says Tommy. So we've got here Sean Greenaway is going for Tommy. Oscar is going for Tommy. Fury says Unspoken T. So a lot of support here for Tommy Fury. Jake Paul says Chizzy. It's a close one.
All of this is just stuff that he's
Tommy
never
Fury.
experienced before.
I feel like he looks nervous.
Says
He's trying to smile
Josh
a bit
Hughes.
too much to hide the emotion. I feel like he's...
says Tommy. Jake for me says MK Jackson 7.
But what I would say about nerves is that sometimes nerves is a good thing, Nerves actually heightens your reaction times and things like that.
All right, he looks quite relaxed there as he's walking to the ring. He's smiling, he's laughing. He's got Tyson Fury behind him, walking him to the ring as well. That will help with all his experience, and his dad as well, smiling. Jake Paul is generations. Muhammad Ali says Dave Jordan. I think he's taking a mick here. Tommy Fury now is entering the ring. We are nearing the fight. He there salutes the crowd, waves his fists.
I must admit, he doesn't look too bad to me. He probably is
relaxed.
nervous. He probably is trying to hide the nerves, but he does look reasonably relaxed.
Tommy Fury in the ring.
He knows the magnitude of this fight.
I can't see what song he's walking out to, but everyone on Twitter saying it's a really bad one.
Bad in what way?
Eight rounds.
A bad choice for walking out.
Remember, it's
someone in the
rounds.
comments just drop what it is because we can't hear.
8 rounds, remember. The ring walk, by the way, is the musical Fortunate Son. That's the
I ain't got a clue what that is.
tune he's come out to.
Is that pleading for his dad to not leave him after?
Fortunate
Son, Credence, Clearwater Revival.
Well, he is the fortunate son to be in this position, and I don't want people to think that I don't like him because he's like I say he's had opportunities kind of fall into his lap, but he's still taken them and taken a step up. Fair play to the lad.
Before this one, every fight I've watched of him, I've watched wanting him to win, and I've kind of still been a little bit disappointed, which is kind of why I think it's like if I'm backing you and I'm still not happy with the result, you can't have been that good.
Yeah, the only issue I have with him is just that he is now, in the eyes of Robbie and many people, representing the world of boxing, and I don't.
No, but
think,
he is.
I
think
that's the only issue I have with him.
as boxing purists, right? You're trying to deny it, but he is, and that's what I've been hearing.
He is in a way, but I agree with my man Nick here. He's not really. True boxing do not look at Tommy Fury as a.
He's a novice boxer.
Yeah, but what I'm saying
understand that, but
versus the YouTuber.
It's like
Especially for the casuals. If you're watching this as a casual and then you see a YouTuber's knocked out a pro boxer,
for sure.
What's the point of boxing?
I get all of that.
Exactly,
I get all of that, but it's like.
But I do agree with Nick. boxing purists like myself do not look at Tommy Fury and say, you are representative of boxing, because we both know that he's not that good. We've said that.
It's
He
like
may
me,
not be that good, but he's a boxer.
but it's like me and my mates getting a five-a-side
That's what I'm
team.
saying.
It's like me,
Let me just say, right? He may not be that good, according to you guys, but he's a boxer.
Trust me, he's
we,
not
we,
that
we,
good.
So-
we agree on that point, but it's like, I don't know, if a YouTube does like a free kick challenge against a pro footballer, but it's a pro footballer from like League Two, it's not the same jeopardy as, do you know what I mean? This is a top level pro footballer.
But then if he
There's
wants
still
to be a
levels.
pro boxer and he wants to be kind of the Tyson Fury pay-per-view seller, you need the casuals on board to sell those numbers.
Yeah.
If you lose this one, you're losing a good amount straight away.
Like I say, there's doors that will close for him.
Right, looks like Jake Paul's coming to the ring. He's really keeping him waiting, isn't he? Because, you know,
It's a tactic.
That's
really
part of the
keeping him
mind
waiting.
games.
Putting on his outfit. Hopefully, don't weigh too much like Deontay Wilder's.
Putting his outfit on. Look, he's getting it on there.
That's
He
the pressure that he puts on himself with these types of shows, because he's not only got to go and box, which is enough pressure, but he's got to do the whole show. Do you know what I mean? It's everything else that goes with it. It's a huge night's work, and he's put on his outfit just to take it off in 30
Just needs to hurry up
seconds.
and get to the ring now. He's keeping everybody waiting,
He knows
including
what
me.
he knows what he's doing.
There's probably something in that outfit, but I can't tell what it is why he's chosen that.
What's that guy got in his hand? Is that a script? They're walking to the ring. Notice that guy there was holding a big, tray of Prime. So they're getting the adverts in there as well.
That was Logan as well.
He looks a bit pensive, actually, as he's walking to
I
the
think
ring.
he's going from watching the fight, because it's his show. He would have been backstage watching the show. Normally, you can just focus on your fight, but it's his show. He's going to be watching the whole show, and now he's got to go from show mode into, okay, I'm fighting. Let's lock it in.
Well, here he comes. Jake Paul, the problem child, as he's known, coming towards the ring. Tommy Fury's already in there. He's been in there now a couple of minutes, having to wait for his opponent to come. All the mind games are being played, but here he comes, wearing some really short shorts for boxing, isn't he?
He looks like a 1980s basketball player.
Short shorts, one white boot, one black boot.
He's the problem child. Said to be getting quite a few boos ringside as well at the moment.
Apparently, there's a lot of Brits there. So,
Of course, the fight taking place over in Saudi Arabia. But here he comes, the problem child. It's nearly here, ladies and gentlemen. Paul versus Fury.
I think the boos would probably help him as well with that kind of character he's built. I think he
so.
needs that, especially where he's always been the underdog and he's always had to prove a point to people. Now he's gone in as like the betting favourite. He's probably like, I want that underdog mentality. He's probably finding ways to be that villain, and the booing is probably helping him.
There are some people that quite enjoy being booed. I'm one of them. I like, when I used to play football for Surrey, I like an away game.
Like, the comment's just going to rip you now for the
That's-
next hour,
yeah, that's
just chucking heat at you.
That's fine. But there's certain characters that it really just like gasses them up, and they enjoy being sort of the bad guy, so might not affect them too much.
Right, here he comes at last. Jake Paul, the problem child.
Devin Haney there, one of our undisputed lightweight champion of the world.
And he's coming to the ring right now. Watch him, here he comes.
Undisputed?
Yeah.
The problem child is on his way to the ring. All the talking is going to be over. As you said, Laurie, one black glove, one white glove.
He's going to be
One
knackered if
white
he goes
boot,
like this
one
the whole
black
way.
boot. Did you notice as well that when Jake Paul came from behind the curtain, he was very pensive? As soon as that door opened and all the sound and the light and the lights, cameras,
Yeah.
that's when he went into
There's
his...
Deji.
There's Deji there. Big up Deji.
There's Mike.
In the audience, Mike Tyson.
Deji thinking this could have been him.
That's when he went into his entertainer's mode as soon as that door opened up. He's getting a lot of love from the fans on the way to the ring there. As well he might do, given that it's his promotion, it's his show.
At last he gets to the ring. This is Jake Paul entering the ring right now. The problem child. And look, they're squaring up already. They're talking to each other already. Tommy Fury, TNT versus Jake Paul. They are about to get it on, ladies and gentlemen. We've been looking forward to this fight for a very, very long time. And now the fight has arrived. Big, big fight today. The the boxer versus the YouTuber. As I said, Jake Paul, let's just give you the tail of the tape. 26 years of age, 6 fights, 6 wins, no losses, 4 by way of knockout. He's 6 foot tall, has a reach of 76 inches, orthodox boxing stance. And I said, he is the problem child from the United States of America, fighting Britain's very own Tommy Fury, who's 23, has had 8 fights, 8 wins, no losses, 4 by way of knockout. He's 6 foot tall, has a reach of 80 inches, also orthodox. The nickname for him is TNT. Are we going to see some TNT tonight? Can he get him out there early? Can he dispose of the YouTuber? Or is the YouTuber going to reign?
As I said, I'm sticking with my prediction. I'll go for Jake Paul, although I can smell a dubious draw should it go to the scorecards and Tommy Fury, having done the better work, comes up short. But overall, yeah, I'm going Jake Paul.
Interesting seeing Jake Paul come out alone as well, not with an entourage. I mean, he obviously had a security, but Tommy done his walk with his brother and his dad and all the rest of it.
Right, they're playing the English national anthem at the moment, the British national anthem at the moment, shall I say. And as you can see there, Tommy Fury still pacing around. He's eager to get this started.
Yeah, that's what you want. You just want to get the first round or 2 done, feel things out, maybe even feel your opponent's first, test his speed, feel that first punch, and then kind of know where you're at. You know, everything sort of just feels unknown at the moment.
I feel like Jake Paul's stamina will be a lot better. So I feel like he might try and just almost run around the ring for a little bit to wear out Tommy and just test him that way.
The later it goes, I think the more it benefits.
You said Jake Paul, what round?
7.
What round? Jake Paul, you said what round?
I think Jake Paul points. I think he's going to get a points decision.
5th round.
5th round. Okay.
Come on, Robbie, don't back out.
Tommy Fury, round 4. Although I ain't got a clue who's going to... It's really hard to judge this fight, isn't it?
If that turns out to be right,
it's like 2 fighters you've never seen really fight.
Exactly.
Yeah, I need to check the script. What did the script say?
The script said 7, I think.
Yeah, it said my one, yeah.
I think they said on a card, so to introduce an element of controversy so they could have the rematch. I think they were saying cut-eye, Jake Paul win.
I should really be going for the YouTube.
And as I was saying before, there is a rematch clause, but only if Tommy Fury wins. If Jake Paul wins, there is no rematch clause.
Which is like...
So that in itself tells its own story.
Yeah.
All right, there's his brother Logan Paul there watching, looking a little bit nervous.
That's really good.
National anthems are
round
over.
8 for the script, so you might be all right.
Round 8 in the script. You saw the script. See, he's going by the script.
No, round 7. Last minute adjustments.
This first round is going to be very interesting to see who takes the centre of the ring, who throws the more punches, who looks more relaxed, who lands a big shot, who's got a good chin. So,
Boss Baba says, I know that Jake is going to win this fight 1 million, it'll say 1 trillion%. He says, remember me. Okay, we will.
Drake put a lot of money on this fight. I think he put 400,000 Canadian dollars on a Jake Paul knockout.
So Jake did?
Drake, the rapper.
Drake. I thought you said Jake. I was going to say, that's very illegal.
If he wins that, he returns $1 million. So he's confident in Jake. But
isn't there the curse of Drake?
There was, but he broke that recently. I can't remember what.
He did, yeah.
What game was it?
The Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl, he did like the reverse. He wanted the Chiefs to win, so he backed the Eagles. And then the Chiefs won, and then he came out being like, yeah. He had like a massive video he dropped being like, yeah, look, I reversed it.
That's the 3 judges there. I wonder if we'll be talking about them after the fight. Something tells me we might be.
The referee, Hector Afu.
He's got a very important role as well. Does he break the fight up when they get close? Does he let the action flow?
Especially for people that are relatively inexperienced.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Like, for the sake of their own selves and injuries, do you just try and keep a bit of a distance and keep it pure boxing?
A lot of people don't kind of underestimate how much influence a referee can have, because if you let the fighters fight when they come in close, that will suit one particular fighter. If you break them up, that will suit the
That's
fighter
what I was
that
just gonna
likes
say.
to fight at
With the
range.
pure YouTube boxers, they tend to stop it too early as well to protect them, and then people are like, oh, but you're ruining entertainment. But where this is kind of, it's not YouTube, but you're not fully pro. It's kind of, there's nothing to really base it off. You've just got to go with what he thinks is right.
This is an important fight. It's going to set a lot of precedent for how this, both boxing and, like, you know, someone asked a question earlier about the future of boxing, and Deontay Wilder said, well, it's not going to change the future of boxing, but the future of how YouTube boxing and pro boxing, how these guys conduct themselves and what levels they fight to and stuff. You know, this is going to be a landmark fight.
I don't think this will be the
future.
last crossover between the two.
that's what I mean. But how far do we push this thing is really going to be set from tonight.
Tommy Fury was just announcing Jake Paul. 21.5 million followers on Instagram. There he is. He's getting ready for this one. The problem child. If anything, I think Tommy Fury looks a little bit more relaxed than he does.
I think you're probably right. But yeah, I mean, it's his show. There's Maurizio Solomon. Is that Maurizio Solomon? It is, isn't it? On the right.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Head of the WBC.
That's the head of the WBC. Yeah. Has a really good relationship with Frank Warren and Queensbury as well. So
I wonder why. But we won't dwell on that.
Right. We're about to go, guys.
I'd say Jake Paul looks a bit leaner than he has in previous fights. So
I agree.
Some fights he's looked a bit fleshy, but today, that's probably testimony to how seriously he's taken this
what's
fight.
wrong with being fleshy?
Nothing at all, bro.
Right.
I'm sure you look great.
Thank you.
Right, here comes the two fighters. The referee reading them out their instructions, and then after this, the fight will begin. Nearly 9,000 of you are in the comments and in the chat.
Here we go.
Really, really appreciate that. We're about to go for the first round. It is Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury, the YouTuber versus the boxer. I'm saying that again, I don't care. Right, here we go, or the Instagrammer.
Even
versus
I'm
the
feeling a
boxer.
bit nervous for this now. I don't know why.
Big fight, here we go. Oh, and they're straight into it.
Interestingly, Jake Paul's taken the centre of the ring.
And Tommy Fury being the aggressor.
Bit of holding going on there.
How's the ref going to referee Jake Paul, given that it's his show and his promotion? Do you know what I mean, is he going to, if he starts to go a bit, are you scoring this one as well?
I am.
You're taking
So
this
Laurie's
very
scoring.
seriously.
He's taking it very seriously. He's scoring.
I do like to
I'll get my notes up as well then, if that's what we're doing.
I'll see a bit of holding at the moment.
It's scrappy already, isn't it?
It is scrappy already. Too much
I
holding.
did say I
already.
didn't expect too much quality, so...
Oh, good jab there by Fury.
You see, what you're seeing there, lads, is that if you notice, there's no inside fighting, because inside fighting is something that
You learn later.
professionals
Yeah.
have mastered, whereas you can tell they're novices, because as soon as they come together, they hold.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's one thing to...
Yeah, the referee's talking to them about too much holding already.
Jake Paul's holding the centre of the ring. I didn't expect to see that.
I mean, hardly holding. He's just, he gets pushed back pretty quickly as soon as... No, I guess he is holding it now, yeah.
Overhand right there by Jake Paul.
Very rash. Very, very rash.
Very telegraphed. Even
very
I would have
jittery,
got, I
Tommy,
would have got
isn't
out of the way of that.
That one is telegraphed as well.
Holding again, though. Holding again.
I did warn you guys not to expect much quality, and we're, you know, it's only about
and again,
30
the
seconds
referee
in.
warning them about
and
the
we're seeing
holding.
this. I did not expect to see Jake Paul pushing him back.
Well, that was...
See what I'm saying? No inside fighting. They don't seem to know what to do.
Lovely. That was good. That was really
that was
nice
good
from
there by Tommy Fury. Some good hand speed there.
And
Good body shot by Jake Paul.
and fighting on the break as well. You know, the ref's not getting involved. He's breaking them up, letting them fight.
These
Really difficult to see who gets
Oh,
the
that was a
good
good shot
overhand
by
right.
Paul.
That's
Caught
a-
him.
That seems to be a tactic then.
Yeah,
the
that's-
overhand right.
that's the one he
So,
fancies.
yeah, as Fury's coming in with a jab, a little overhand right by Paul. His air already looks like he's, you know, a bit red.
Say your
doesn't it?
favourite phrase, nervous energy.
Yeah.
He's holding a very low guard, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, that's obviously what they've identified, because he keeps going for that overhand right, which would go right over that low.
I must admit, I
Left
didn't
hand.
expect to see Jake Paul in the middle of the ring. I expected him to see... I thought he would be flitting around the ring. It seems to be the opposite. It's Tommy on the back foot.
Hits the body. He went for the head, hit the body there. I'll count that as a body shot.
See that? He's got him moving backwards.
Yeah, he's backing him up quite well.
Yeah.
And how good can Tommy Fury fight off the back foot? Which is something that his brother's very good at, but how good is he at fighting off the back foot?
He's never really had to in all of his other fights. He's always the one in control.
Hands very low. Yeah, lots of feinting going on.
Love Island boxing, as I was just
exactly.
in the chat. Oh, that was a good little flurry. Good little flurry there by Tommy Fury. Caught him a couple of times there. And that's the end of the first round.
rounds, isn't it?
That's the end of the first round. It was a nice little flurry there. It's 2 minute rounds, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a nice little flurry there.
I would have to say that was even. There was no one really established any dominance in that round. I'll have to go.
Who would you say won that round?
I would give it to Jake Paul personally.
Jake Paul?
To the centre of the ring.
Close, but I'd edge Jake Paul.
Yeah, I'd edge it to Jake Paul personally.
Okay.
Very, very close.
Looks like Jake Paul. Oh, but there was some, I don't know, man. Fury to me had the cleaner punches though.
No, but Jake Paul did land 2 overhand rights.
He landed 2 overhand rights. He caught him in the body once or twice.
There, look at that. That was a good punch.
Yeah, that was a good punch.
And again.
And dictated. I still think Jake Paul dictated the action a little bit more, but you do get points for
man. I don't
in pro fighting.
know. I think Fury was the better fighter in that
There we
first
go.
round.
Controversy begins already in round 1.
It's relatively what I expected from Jake Paul. Tommy Fury is less
That's
certain
the
what to do.
overhand right there.
Yeah, that was. He did feel that as well. Right, here we go for round 2. Both of them in the centre of the ring again.
Oh, it's 3 minutes.
It's 3 minute rounds.
I mean, it looked like 2 minutes.
Flew past.
Pretty even so far.
Jake Paul's got no jab, has he?
Nah.
No jab. He's got no jab at all. He's not throwing a jab at all, has he?
No.
And that's what I said. You know what I mean? As the boxer, that's what I'd expect Tommy Fury to do. Be there, throwing your jabs, throwing like that. Keep throwing that jab and just lining him up for the big one.
Yeah, this is nice quality boxing.
Yeah, that's good. Again,
really
Tommy
nice
Fury,
quality
that's
boxing
better.
from Tommy Fury, to be fair.
Jake had shown a jab before as well, so I don't know if it's because of the reach. He's like wary to use it, and he's just going for the big swingers.
Maybe.
Again, nice little jab there by Tommy Fury. This is what he has to do.
Also, after that
Oh,
first
and a
round,
good shot.
he settled. Tommy Fury settled in really, really well.
And another
Great
good shot
counter
by
left.
Tommy Fury.
Great counter left there by Jake Paul as well.
That's it. He's eating up that jab. Like you said, Laurie, he's not throwing any jabs, is he? He's just going for wild.
He looks really relaxed in there now, Tommy Fury. After that first round, just looks so chill.
I love a nice jab there by Tommy Fury.
Got caught. Good jab there.
One back from Paul.
I mean, Jake's still not as composed, but he's starting to get there as well.
I think he's learning. The difference is he's reacting to what Tommy Fury's
And
doing.
this is good again by Tommy Fury.
Yeah, Tommy's dictating the fight at this point, and Jake's having to react.
What's the script saying for round 2?
Yeah, I mean, no one's going to get an eye injury at this type of pace and speed, Kane.
He's just keeping him at bay, isn't he?
Looks like he's gained his respect a little bit. He's not flying in as rash.
Still tense in the fight. That was a nice shot there by Tommy Fury again.
Really nice
This is
shot.
definitely his round so far.
sure.
But still 40 odd seconds left to go in it. What can Jake Paul do? Because at the moment, this is definitely going Tommy Fury's way this round. But still a long, long way to go.
Well, it's a
Again.
good jab by Jake Paul there.
Yeah.
Sort of a counter jab, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's a very low stance, isn't he?
And again, Tommy Fury got caught by the jab there.
Maybe a little bit overconfident now.
Oof. Good job he missed with that. Couple of jabs reached out there.
Yeah, it's the overhand
That
right.
overhand right. Wild overhand right, though. Wild.
Both their right hands are
Telegraph.
so wild. Great counter left. There you go.
And that's the end of
Jake
round
Paul
2.
very reluctant
and for
to
me,
engage.
I'd have to give that round to Tommy Fury.
Yeah.
Tommy Fury's round easy for me. What about you, Nick?
Yeah, same. Just dictated the speed and made Jake Paul have to fight his fight.
He looks comfortable, that one. He's kind of settled. Jake's still not fully settled.
Just behind it, he just jabbed him.
Yep.
Which is what I was saying. As a boxer, I think as a boxer, you work behind that jab.
Maybe
You know
it's
what I mean?
boxer
As you-
versus athlete. as
Yeah,
opposed
you
to-
used that jab. Look at that. There was a lovely jab there, showing in the highlights. You just used that jab. use that jab and then lure him in, and then you get your hooks off.
He's got to be careful of that overhand right, though.
But at the moment, Jake Paul's looking a bit wild.
Thing is, when he throws it, he takes his eyes off the target.
Yeah, he's just throwing that. He's not even looking what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's just, and he sort of turned his back a bit.
Yeah. So when he looks at, if he gets caught, as he throws that and misses, if he gets caught on the way back, it's the ones you see that, the ones you don't see that knock you out, rather.
Here we go for round 3. And again, Tommy Fury with a nice jab there to start the round off. Good body shots.
You can see Jake definitely feels more pressure to knock Tyson Fury out. Tommy Fury out. Fury's happy to just jab his way through it.
Again, good in the jabs, just working. I think he's boxing all right, Tommy Fury. Boxing a lot more, looking more like a boxer.
For sure.
As you say that,
He got to jab himself there, as I said that.
Jake Paul's quite heavy-handed, to be fair.
Has Jake Paul got to turn this into a scrap?
I think he's trying. I think he's trying
just trying to
to
land that big shot, isn't
Yeah.
he? Really? You can see it. He's
That was a good shot by Jake
he's having
Paul.
a bit around him so far.
That was
If
a
he
good
knows
shot.
he can't outbox him, he's got to go for the
And
And that was a
Again,
good
landed a
punch
hook.
there. Good hook by Jake Paul. This is better by him.
Yeah, they've got to
Again.
keep it up.
Tommy Fury getting that jab going again. Caught him nice there with it, Tommy Fury.
Bit more punch variety now from Jake Paul, which is corner's probably told him switch things up a little bit, becoming a bit too predictable. Very cagey fight. Fights so similar to his brother, doesn't he? Tommy Fury.
Oh, good shot again by Fury. I think at the moment Fury winning this round as well for me.
It's close around. This
Yes, closer. I still might edge it towards Fury.
That was a good jab.
Good movement, good head movement from Jake Paul there.
It seems to be just going for the one big shot all the time here, Jake Paul.
Oh, he caught
that
him
was
there.
a good
That's
shot.
shot.
That was a good shot
That
there
was a
by
good shot.
Jake
And I
Paul.
think Tommy Fury felt that, you know. I think he felt
looks all right.
that.
He looks all right.
No, he's not like hurt, but I definitely
Yeah.
think he felt that.
Yeah, he caught him flush.
Jake Paul's very heavy-handed. He snapped his head back with a jab. You know, when he catches you flush, you'll feel it for sure.
Oh, and again.
Oh, that was a
Another
big
right
shot.
hand.
That was one of those big overhand rights, and it actually caught him. And you can see Tommy Fury talking to him, as if to say, that didn't hurt me, man. Sometimes when you hear them say that, it did.
I think for Jake Paul, where he had Nate Robinson and Woodley, where he's knocked them out with one of those swings. I
Yeah.
think he's kind of relying on that's what I've got.
Yeah.
If I've got a chance, it's going to be doing that.
But
again.
this is the experience he's going to get from boxing a boxer. Is you can't just do that. Do you know what I mean? You're going to have to bring something a little bit more.
when Nate
or
would run
set
onto
up.
it, he's never going to run onto it in the same
Exactly.
way.
Oh, and again. You know what? I think there's an argument for giving Jake Paul this round.
And I
He's
think Jake
landed
Paul
cleaner
started to,
shots.
in the second half of the round. I think he started to take it. I
He's landed
think.
the cleaner shots in this round. There's no doubt about that. I mean, you could say Tommy Fury with a jab, but
I think it could be even. So if you go by promotion, it'll be Jake Paul.
I'm giving that round to Jake Paul.
I don't know. I think it's kind of an even round, that one. But they're marking his results down. I know you guys are marking your scores down.
Yeah.
What have you got it so far then?
I've got Jake up so far. Two rounds to one.
Jake Paul winning 2 rounds to 1.
Me, I've got it dead level. First round, I went even. Second round, Tommy Fury. Third round, Jake Paul.
2 rounds to 1 for Paul as well. I'm pretty sure we'll have gone for exactly the same
Yeah,
so far.
I got it 2. I got it 2 to 1. I think
To who?
you know, to Tommy Fury.
Corruption.
You got Paul win.
He's that dodgy ref.
Yeah, he's
got
dodgy
Paul with
He's that
ref.
one
We've both
dodgy
got
judge.
Paul.
Tommy Fury to me so far has been the better of the two.
Yeah, but I think in that round.
I think
in
his
that
second round
thought
was
he
the
won the
best
first round.
but the first and the third
And I
round,
think he won the third
Paul's
round.
narrowly edged.
I like how Paul. I like how Tommy Fury adjusted for the second round, and then how Jake Paul went and adjusted again for the third round. So just sussing
I
each
don't
other
know,
out.
I think it's there's no obvious dominant fighter, but I do think that the cleaner shots in that last round were landed by Jake Paul.
It's just wild, though, isn't it, Jake Paul?
I think Fury's probably not
Wild
using as much
hooks.
stamina as Jake Paul would want him to.
That's a
so
really
far.
good point.
Fury's
yeah.
got the better jab.
Well, that was better by Fury.
good shot!
This is good by Fury. Some good combinations there, but Jake Paul's weathered it. And again, that is very good by Fury.
shown
Some
decent
good
hand
combinations,
speed.
good hand speeds. Definitely looks like the boxer in there.
Yeah, that's true.
He looks much better tonight than he has in any of his
This
pro
is the
fights
best
that
I've ever seen from him.
Yeah, 100%.
Keep hitting that like button, by the way, everybody. Over 10,000 of you in the chat right now, enjoying this a very even fight at the moment. Although I'm different to these guys, I've got Tommy Fury up on this. And again, he's having a good round so far.
Yeah,
And
that's a
another
good
great
shot.
shot.
Accuracy.
Another great shot on the chin. And another. And he's hurt. I think Jake Paul's hurt here.
Devin Haney's on his feet screaming.
This is a very good round for Fury.
It is.
And again, and Jake Paul's looking a little bit tired as well. Look at
It
him.
is.
Yeah,
He's
he's
looking,
having-
He's looking a
hold
bit
on,
tired. He's looking to hold on.
Yeah, Jake Paul could be in
This is
trouble
not
here.
YouTube, bro. It's not Instagram. This is the big thing.
Yeah, Jake Paul, he just seems really surprised by what.
He can't get nothing going.
He can't get anything going now.
It's a bit embarrassing if you lose for Love Islander.
But yeah, this is what I was saying before about you need certain
So you
fighters to bring the best out of you because
Yeah.
the fights that he's had before obviously weren't motivating him, and he seems more motivated for this. You know, much
You see in
better.
that Love Island house is they had a gym. And he was in there sparring.
But this is the people in the chat were asking
Again.
before. What does it matter if you come from a fighting family? This is it. He's got a real style and an identity. It doesn't mean he'll win, but there's obviously a game plan that comes from that household where they jab and move, and that's their
got
style.
caught there though. But he's
Maybe
waving
having his
around.
own kid, kind of having that family and that kind of more
Oh!
responsibility might
Big
play a
shot. I
part.
don't think that caught him
It
clean.
didn't. I think Tommy.
He's
if
missing Jake Paul.
If Tommy Fury is defensively responsible, he should win without too much problems. Because
Agreed. Yeah, if he doesn't go for the knockout, he wins this fight pretty easily.
because
Again,
and he's
working
winning it
with
on
that
the jab, you know.
Yeah.
Working with that jab was the same thing I said right from the start of the fight. Just go out there, work behind that jab, and you're the boxer. You're the boxer. You've been boxing, you know, amateur that you would learn to jab, work behind that jab, and then do all the rest behind it. And that's what he's doing. He's doing
like
it
a
back,
that's-
back of the head. That's
from
not his.
behind there.
That's not his fault though. Jake
But
Paul's
it's
turned his
Jake
back.
Paul there
Yeah.
again, turning his head.
To me, that's a clear Tommy Fury
Yeah,
round.
for sure.
Tommy Fury round, and for me, that's 3-1 now. I've got Tommy Fury 3 up. What have you got?
2-2.
2-2.
You got a 2-2, so you got the fight even.
I've got Tommy Fury 2-1 with one even.
Look at those big shots there by Tommy Fury.
A Fury knockout now makes for a really good script.
Yeah, exactly. A Jake Paul knockout makes for an even better.
That's the one. That's what I meant. That's,
The problem child is having problems.
This is why we've got rematch clauses.
Been a decent fight so far.
It's short on quality, but you know.
Yeah.
And obviously,
Decent
there's
left hook there.
still question marks. Like, you know,
But
if he
there's
goes,
action, there's
if he
action.
goes and fights a proper boxer, is he getting his jab off all night? Is he dictating the pace the same way? Maybe not. But you can only fight
his
what's in
defense
front of
doesn't
you.
look amazing still.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the thrown and landed. Tommy Fury's landed almost twice as many punches. Granted, he's thrown almost twice as many punches as well.
The other thing I would say as well, Jake Paul as well, he's got a 2-inch reach advantage, and yet, you know what I mean, he doesn't want to
He's
use
not
his
using
jab.
it. Yeah,
His jab is pretty he's trying it
He
there.
hasn't got no jab.
he's just starting to
used it
jab
there.
now, and he's jabbing.
Oh, and look, he's having some success.
But it's a really ugly jab because he's leaving it out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Leans up like
Yeah,
that.
the problem is he's getting his stance low and jabbing up. I think he's even got like an inch height advantage. I don't know why he's ducking so low, but
That's a good jab by Fury.
yeah, he's tucking his chin away. He's going to end up getting knocked
That's
out
a
if he
good
keeps
jab.
trying
Nice
to jab.
Nice jab there again by Tommy Fury.
Yeah, when Jake Paul's jabbing, he's turning his chin to one side. He's not tucked in. He can get himself into all sorts of problems.
The issue could come when these two guys start getting really tired, which could be, you know, this 5th, 6th, 7th round.
I don't think Tommy's going to
don't
tire as
tire-
much as
Oh,
Jake
he got
can
caught
for.
there.
Oh, good shot there by Tommy Fury.
Good jab by
Caught him flush.
See, Paul can jab when he uses it right.
And again, caught Paul.
The swings are getting more desperate.
Oh, he got caught again.
But once he catches him with a couple of jabs, he thinks now's the moment. Do you know what I mean? If he keeps trying to force it and not let it kind of come about naturally.
Oh, he's taking a
Taking
point.
a point away.
He's taking a point.
That seems
taking a point off his
that could
holding.
be significant.
That seems premature to me.
That's a bit harsh. Though.
That seems really premature.
Has there been a warning for it? I haven't seen anything.
No, Tommy Fury
He's had
got
a word
warned.
with him a few times, but
Tommy Fury got warned for
Warning
that.
to
But
Tommy Fury as well.
one thing that we do
I'll tell you
know,
what, him getting a point taken
That
and
seems
you're
really
behind on points, that is
Yeah.
very significant.
Well, there's your reason for the rematch.
there you go. I was going to say, we know this ref won't be here for the rematch.
That weren't in the script.
Oh,
that
good
was
shot.
a good
Left
shot.
hand. He
That
looked
was a good
buzzed.
shot there
Looked
by
like he hurt him,
Tom.
yeah.
He
And I
does,
think
yeah.
that did hurt him. That was a good shot. Good shot there by Jake Paul.
Probably wants to throw a punch at the ref right now. But,
I think if you're Jake Paul, you're starting to think you're going to need a knockout to win already because
for sure.
this could be a 10-8 round. Oh, good shot.
Good jab there.
Got to win. He's got to win this round now. He's got to win that point back. Because I do think that was really harsh. That
I thought
that was very
really
harsh.
harsh.
I thought that was really harsh as
And
well.
we were all saying that.
Maybe the ref trying to prove a point that he's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
overcompensating maybe a little bit. So far, it might be Jake Paul's round. Close, but
Every round he's taken is like a close one, where
Yeah.
Tommy takes it is a bit more.
yeah, it's
clear.
much. But exactly, it's another great left hand from him. $20 left. Can he get this round? Because we'd have to score it even because he's already a point down.
Yeah, because he's had a point taken.
Do you think he's done enough to win it now?
I think he's probably won the round.
Yeah, I
but
think he's won
with
this
the
round.
point taken.
Yeah.
And it becomes an even round.
Yeah.
Good job.
And it's been a better round for him.
Yeah,
That's the end of that round. But I think with that point being taken, I would score that round even though I thought Jake Paul was the better fighter in that round. But I would score that even. He did land a big shot on Fury in that round. I think that was the one. We sort of stunned Fury, but he did take it well. Fury, you can see it here. Did stun him a bit. His brother Logan liked that one. It's Tyson there. Tyson Fury looking a little nervy there. And then he sees the camera on him and he's like, he's giving it large. He's thinking it's all right.
I think if you're Tyson Fury, you're thinking, yeah, my brother's ahead.
Well, I think he is ahead. The Professor IR says 4-1 to Fury. Sweater says 4-2 to Fury.
I've got it 3-1 to Fury. Oh, that's a good shot.
That was a better shot there by Logan Paul. I'm sorry, Jake Paul. I do
great
think Jake
uppercut.
Paul's got to be thinking knockout.
He's
yeah,
got to.
for sure.
He's got to go for it. He's not going to win on points.
The ref has given Tommy Fury more warnings for
Oh, that was
bad things and hasn't deducted a point from him.
Jake Paul saying that Tommy's holding. You see, he's trying to position himself to land the overhand right, but he's making it too predictable. Oh, that was a good shot.
Another great shot.
Good jab by Tommy Fury.
Has he got blood on it?
Looks
There's
like
a little bit of blood coming from the mouth,
blood
maybe.
from the nose
Yeah.
or mouth there of
Up
Tommy
from
Fury.
the nose of Tommy Fury.
Molly ain't gonna like that.
She might like it. That was good.
Oh, that was a
good
great
uppercut.
He
Good
turned his back
uppercut.
again.
And again, he turned his back there, Jake Paul.
Yeah, you
Nice
can't.
little combination that
You
was by
can't be
Fury.
turning your back. You can't do that. You're better off taking a knee.
He missed with that hook there.
Really scrappy round so far. Lots of
It has been a
hugging.
very scrappy round.
Not a huge amount of action.
Well, that was a nice jab there by Tommy Fury.
Good jab from Paul
Jab back by Paul, but then Tommy Fury caught him in a nice little short hook.
Might be the most difficult one to score so
Yeah,
far.
I'm still feeling
'Cause Jake Paul had that great punch
cleaner,
right at the
better
beginning.
work for me still coming from Tommy Fury. Yeah, a little bit tired. Scrappy, very scrappy now. Lots of holding. Look,
Calling time, ref's calling
Is he
time.
going to warn Tommy now? Is he going to take a point off Tommy?
Tommy feels like the more seasoned fighter, but in this round, it's not doing much to
Well, both
send it his
of
way.
them, at the moment that one of them engages, whichever one it is,
like you said, they can't fight inside, innit?
No.
as soon as somebody engages, they tie up straight away. So there's no real flow.
Oh
my-
now he's
Oh,
taking
now he's taking a point off
he's
Tommy
evened
Fury.
it up.
What was that for? What
He's
holding was
evened
that
it up.
for?
This
I'm sorry.
this ref is
Referee, I don't know.
it's Steve Mason in that
This is
in that
script
costume.
number 2.
Although I would say that there has been a lot of holding. There has been a lot of holding. You
There's been
cannot-
holding by both of them. I reckon
Yeah.
that was a little. He realised
But
he gave,
then-
he
but
gave
then-
the first one a
so-
little bit premature
I
and
think
wanted to
maybe
wait
he
back
has.
to even
I
it.
think he's maybe evened it out just because he's
Yeah.
been premature with the first one potentially.
Ref's getting
Because both points are a little bit
Dubious,
questionable.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like someone said to me in the last round, yeah, bro, do you know his promotion is?
He got reminded of his responsibility.
Yeah, man, we take this thing for.
This is such a difficult round to score, though.
Well,
because-
I would have had it.
Now the point's taken off,
Go
yeah.
Paul, innit?
I would have had it as Tommy Fury's round,
Yeah, I would.
but then I think I'm gonna have to give it.
Oh, that's good there
definitely
by Tommy
yeah,
Fury.
definitely
He
Tommy
caught him
Fury's
there.
round now.
He caught him there right at the end of the round, but with the point taken away, I'm personally going to score it even.
I'm scoring it even as well.
I'm scoring it even as well, but since I've scored now the last 2 rounds even, so it's
Yeah.
been
So
a
have
draw.
I.
It's a draw.
I'm at a draw, but it feels like it's not.
You got a draw for this fight, so
Yeah.
far? Nah,
I have
come
a
on.
draw for the fight.
What
So
are you lot scoring?
I've got Tommy Fury up by a
Fury's
round.
winning this fight, man.
you can't judge the whole fight, Rob.
This-
You got
that's
to
it.
go
I
round
think
by round.
If you go whole fight, I feel like he's
I'm
winning
going
because
round by round.
the
It's
rounds
been
that
a better
he's
fight.
won have been clearer wins.
yes, I agree.
No, but you
Jake
don't score
Paul still-
boxing fights like that. You have to score round by
Exactly,
round.
so that's why I've
That's
got it
what-
even.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Jerry Simmons says VAR.
So I said it's Lee Mason in that costume in that referee, man. I'm telling you.
You see, we're building up to this finale where you're going to get a dubious or controversial
Cleaner
decision.
work has come from Tommy Fury for me. The cleaner
Look, the,
punches, cleaner
It's
work.
been scrappy, but it's been entertaining.
Sean Porter.
Sean Porter's scorecard
he's
looks the
scoring
same
it
as mine.
even.
That's me. He's got it 56-56. I've got it 56-56.
I've got it, yeah.
He's gone 10-8s on the both. I've gone 9s on
Oh,
both.
I've got 57.
Oh, there was a nice little combination there by Tommy Fury.
It's in the balance, though. Whatever.
It is
There's
in the
2
balance.
rounds to
These
go.
next 2 rounds are going to be huge.
Tommy looks a bit tired. He's blowing.
Is that muscle mass, like you said, going to have an effect now as we get into the
Yeah,
later
he
rounds?
just,
He hasn't looked tired so
He's
far.
not looked knackered, but he is blowing. He is blowing. You can see him there. Look, he's blowing.
Jake Paul did
punch.
look like he was tired earlier, but it looks like maybe he's got a second
Yeah.
win now.
I think neither of them have embarrassed themselves so far. They
I
can
can
both
see
come
a
out with
draw.
the
This has
respect.
got draw written all.
This has got rematch. written
Yeah,
all over
I
it.
said this at the time, and it's looking like it now. Oh,
Oh, that was good. But he missed with that
he
second.
did miss with that third shot.
That was a jump scare from Laurie.
Oh, that was good. That was good.
Here we
there
go.
by
Now
Tommy
they're fighting
Fury.
on the inside all of a sudden. This round 7 comes and they're starting to
Well,
fight.
Tommy is. Jake's holding.
Well, Jake's trying. He's trying.
I think Jake's calmed down. I think he's realised now that Tommy's not as dangerous
Tommy's
as he maybe thought.
Yeah.
But to be fair, none of them have really hurt the other, have they?
None of them have big punching power, do they? Why?
Well, none of them
Paul
have
has
really.
decent punching power.
Yeah.
He hasn't. You haven't
But he's
seen
He's got
it.
the power, you just can't get it off.
Yeah,
Where
exactly.
Tommy doesn't really have the power, but he's got the skill to avoid.
You watch at the end of this fight, both of them will hold their hands up and claim victory. I'm telling
Everyone,
you.
but I've seen people get like smashed
Yeah,
up that
yeah.
do that and raise their hand up. Do you know what I
Who's
mean?
winning this round so
Listen,
far?
again,
It's gotta be Tommy
I'm
Fury.
leaning
Yes, Tommy Fury. Well done. Good shots there. Good combinations.
Come on, Paul. I predict you to win this round, man. Come on. Not 1 minute for me to be right. Yeah, I mean, Jake Paul hasn't done any work this round apart from tying up Tommy Fury.
11,000 of you watching. Smash that like button for us. It is Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury. We're into round number 7. 45 seconds to go again. Good little flurry there by Tommy Fury. I think he's winning this round for me at the moment, but I don't know what the other guys
Yeah,
think.
definitely is.
for me as well.
Jake Paul also looks a little bit more tired than Tommy does, to be fair, at this point.
Oh, and again he caught
Oh.
Jake Paul there. Getting a bit of
I think
hold in
Jake
there.
Paul's lack of skills and that has been exposed.
I
in
think
this
he wants to
fight.
go with the distance now and just kind of see it out rather than go for the knockout.
Good little short left hook there by Tommy Fury. And again, I think he's done the cleaner, neater work.
Yeah,
I agree.
I would agree.
Draw and rematch, says AK King 27. And that's the end of that round, and that got to go to Tommy Fury. He had all the better work there. There's one more round to go.
I now have him
Logan
up. You
Paul
got him up.
looking a little bit worried there,
got Fury,
ringside. But there is a cut. There is a
Here
cut.
we go. Here we go.
There is a cut over the eye of Tommy Fury. Now, was that not in the script?
This is in the script.
Was that not in the script? I see a cut there. Look, cut over the eye. What did the script say?
Said a cut in round 4 or
Is there a
5.
clash of heads? Oh, there is. There clash of heads there. There was a clash of heads there, and there is a cut. You see it again there. The head goes down low, and boom, there it is. That's what's caused the cut. It's a clash of heads. There you go. Ooh, right there. Clash of heads there, and there's a cut to Tommy Fury. Pretty clumsy that there by Jake Paul.
They both been doing
Last
that all
round.
fight though.
Right,
Here we
last
go.
round. Here we go for the last round.
I've got Fury up by 1.
We've both got Jake
Yeah.
to take this for a draw.
I've got
Right,
Fury
what
up
could
by
happen?
Oh!
That
Here
was
we
a
go.
good
shot!
Straight
That was a
away.
good shot by Paul.
He knows it's
That was a
draw
good
or he's
shot.
going to be
He-
down.
I
He's got to
think-
know he's down on the
I think
scorecard.
Jake Paul
Good
knows
little
he's
comeback.
behind.
Good little comeback.
Here we go.
By,
Championship round.
Fury.
Oh! He's down!
Did he
that
knock
He's
him
down! That's
I
down!
think that's a knockdown. He's
Yeah,
getting
that is
a
a
count.
knockdown.
like
He's
a-
getting
That was a knockdown.
I'm sort of
He's getting a count for
That
it.
was a knockdown.
Jake Paul's
Ready
knocked
for
him
this?
down, and he's up.
Round
but
8.
he's getting an 8 count.
In the final
No,
round,
but that was a legit knockdown.
in the final round, Paul lands a huge right hand that sends Fury crashing to the canvas.
That's on the script.
That's the start of round 8 of the
Oh,
script.
Really?
That's
Yeah.
in the
serious?
script. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
that's crazy.
Down he went.
Now that could even it up.
That would make it a draw.
No, not on my, I still got
On
Fury
my
up by a
scorecards,
point.
that would be, and on Sean Porter's scorecards, the professional boxer, it would make it a draw.
Little 10
That's a
round.
draw. This is what I said, people. I said don't be surprised if we see the draw.
Oh no, Kane, you're right. On our scorecards, it would make it a Jake Paul win
You
for
would.
10-8.
For 10-8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're
On
right.
my-
You're right. Fury has to try and take this
When he
round
went
now.
down, he definitely got counted for it.
But Fury can take the round still,
which goes to what
which
we
would
was,
then make it a draw.
myself and Nick was saying that Jake Paul is the puncher in this fight.
Yeah.
We did say that before, and now it's been proven because he scored. Mind you, unless
Do you think that was a knockdown?
yes, definitely.
It did look
I need
like
to
a
see it
knockdown.
again. I just caught it. I caught half of it. It looked like a bit of a slip. I need to see it
It
again.
might have been off balance, but he still landed a punch.
I trust you.
Yeah,
But once you touch your glove down on the canvas, that's
Oh.
a knockdown.
Fury's come back.
Ooh, he just missed with that uppercut there.
Fury trying to be the aggressor now. We haven't really seen much of this
More
from
holding
him.
going on again.
Oh,
But that
great
was a
jab.
good punch there
jab.
by Paul. But then
Oh!
a good comeback. Good comeback here
Paul
by
looked
Fury.
like he might have been going down there. If he
Good
didn't
comeback
grab,
there by Fury.
if he didn't hold on, it looked like he could have been going down.
It's a good last round. They're both going for it. They are both going for it in this last round.
Tommy looks tired.
Both look tired.
Oh, that was a good punch again
Yep, Tommy's tying up now.
by Jake Paul.
I'm so.
Tommy's
interested
looking more
to-
exposed now.
100%. They're both kind of going for broke. I think they're both worried they're going to lose.
Because there's been so
30.
many points taken off, it's always up in the air.
Exactly.
30 seconds left to go of this fight.
I
It's
did-
going to be a close one.
Still going to be a Jake Paul round so far, unless
that was
Tommy
good.
does
That was
something
better
in the
there by
next 20
Tommy Fury.
seconds.
Just,
Oh,
that
good
was a
uppercut.
great uppercut.
He might lose a point from the ref here. No, he's not. Last 10 seconds.
It's going to go the distance.
Last
people.
10 seconds. It is going to go the distance. It is going to go the distance. Look, they hold in again there. They'll hardly have any time to get another shot off.
He's still holding. The ref's trying to
Still
get them
holding.
apart, and he's trying to hold. And that's
And
time.
that's
See,
The
and
fight
I
has
told
finished.
you, they're
And
both celebrating.
Both celebrating as if they've won it. Who has won it though? Who has won the fight? They're both celebrating. It was a close one. And they're both talking to each other there in the ring. Right, guys. I see you doing your scorecards. Big up to everybody in the chat. A lot of you are saying a draw. Sam says a draw.
I've got
I have it a draw.
Price Yarrow said it was a slip. Let's see it here again.
Let's
We're
see this
seeing a
again.
replay.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
punch.
yeah,
I told
yeah.
you.
It was a punch.
That is
but
a
bit of
punch.
There's a bit of a slip. as
No,
well,
it's a
isn't it?
punch, Robbie.
It doesn't
It's
matter.
a punch. Look,
Even if
look
there
at
is-
that.
It doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
That's a punch.
It doesn't matter. Even if there is a bit of a slip, it's
Yeah, that's a
irrelevant.
knockdown.
That's a clear knockdown.
That is a knockdown.
See that?
He was off balance.
And that punch to me has saved
Yeah, same.
Jake
yeah.
Paul's unbeaten record. Derek
Yeah.
Chisora.
So for that, it'd be a 10-8, wouldn't it?
Yeah. And I had. The only thing you would say, did Tommy Fury do enough to win that round, which would make it a 10-9 round?
I don't think he did.
I have
or a
Jake Paul
9-9.
up by one.
I've got Jake Paul up by 1.
What have you got? 75, 74? We didn't count it.
Jake Paul can't. Jake
I've
Paul
got him
can't
up.
win this fight.
I've
No,
got
no.
What's
To me,
the total?
I think I got Tommy Fury up by 1 round.
I've got Jake Paul up by 1.
I got Tommy Fury up by
I've
1
got it
round.
a
but
draw.
A
Too
draw
tight to
wouldn't
count.
surprise me.
I've got it a draw.
If it was given as a draw, it wouldn't
agree.
surprise me. But I think I got Tommy Fury up by a round. He just done the cleaner work throughout the fight for me.
For me, from the way I've scored it round by round, taking into account everything that's happened in individual rounds, I've got Jake Paul up by 1. But if somebody has Tommy Fury up, I'm not mad at that. If someone's got a draw, I'm not mad at that either.
I've got Jake Paul up by 1.
Yeah.
But I still think Tommy Fury was the better fighter.
I think Tommy
overall.
Fury was the better fighter. I agree with you, Robbie. But just going by round, yeah. Because there's times where Tommy Fury's doing the cleaner work, but Jake Paul's getting the more damaging punches off. It's a tough one.
What do you think? Do you think that was a good fight or
I thought it was decent.
decent?
It's probably not the best fight, but it was entertaining.
Yeah.
It was a good kind of leveled scrap. There was, say,
Very competitive.
Tommy Fury was obviously the slightly better boxer, or
Yeah.
better boxer, but there were still elements of Jake Paul that, I mean, not many YouTubers can go in the ring and do that.
Jake Paul was looking at him and he's like contemplating giving him respect. He wasn't. He was thinking about giving him a high five, but just couldn't quite bring himself to do it.
Well, listen, I thought it was a decent fight. They both made a decent account of it.
They both gave a good effort.
Yeah. Big up to everybody in the chat. 14,000 of you watching live. Smash that like button. Who did you think won? Who did you think won the fight?
Tommy Fury looked a bit
Fury's
more
looking
confident
like he's
than.
confident. I think he won it. I think I got him winning it by 1 round. You got a draw?
I've got Jake Paul.
No, you
winning
got
it by
Jake
1.
Paul winning it.
I've got a draw, but I would agree with you, Robbie, that Tommy Fury did the better work overall.
75-74 to Paul has been the first judge.
That's my score.
What? The first judge?
76 to 73 Fury, the second judge. Here we
Draw.
get
It's
it.
a draw. It's a draw. Watch the draw. Oh, Fury's got it!
73. Tommy Fury has won. Tommy Fury
Very wide
wins
scorecard.
on points, and I think that is the correct decision. I felt that he had done the better work, and so did the judges. And Tommy Fury wins. And he's ecstatic over there in the corner. He has beaten Jake Paul. Do not be surprised to see a rematch for this one, because he did get knocked down in that last round as well.
It'll be interesting to see the scorecards from
For
that.
sure.
But yes, it is Tommy Fury, boxer, Love Islander, who takes it from Jake Paul, Instagrammer, YouTuber, TikToker.
And fair play to Tommy Fury.
But
as
it was
well.
a good fight. It was a close fight.
Fair play. He's never been.
can't
he
be mad at
he's
Tommy
in
winning for
tears.
that.
He's in tears. He's breaking down. He's emotional. But he's never been at this type of level before. Even if you look at him like a pro
This is
boxer,
the biggest test of his career.
100%. 100%. It's a big night for him. And
Well,
with
it's interesting because he said before the fight that if he beats Jake Paul, he's not going to celebrate because it's nothing special. Well,
Well, you
we've
can
seen
see what it
something
means to him. He's
completely
crying.
different now.
I think he'll come
He's
out
in
now and
tears.
he'll have more respect for Jake Paul, and he'll say kind
100%.
of fair play, look, you really stepped up.
100%. From a financial perspective, him winning, triggering the rematch clause, he gets
That's
himself
just
on a
more money.
payday.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Gets the win, gets the payday, and it gets to keep the family name.
Jake Paul looks a little bit disappointed.
I think he would be.
And it now won't surprise me if
There you go.
KSI
There's
tried
the,
to
there's
go
the
now.
respect. There's the
Respect
respect.
at the end. They're hugging each other and talking to each other.
There's Tommy Fury saying that we can do the rematch.
But I think genuinely away from the money, he's saying, listen, you are bloody good. They're both looking at each other thinking, I underestimated you.
Jake Paul's just given him the toughest challenge of his life.
There's a bit of a mutual respect.
100%, yeah.
There's a bit of a mutual respect there, which is what you want to see.
For two novices, if we put it this
two
way,
professionals.
Yeah, but if we put it this way, if it was two
novice professionals,
two professional novices
Yeah.
that were fighting, we'd be saying that was a decent fight, wouldn't we?
Yeah. Laurie boxing one tonight.
you know what? I mean, there's been much made of that, but like I said, I didn't really look at it as deep as that, to be honest. The right man won because although I'd scored it a draw, I did agree with Robbie that if you look at it aesthetically overall, Tommy Fury was clearly the better boxer in there.
I can back, even putting Jake Paul up, I can back that Tommy Fury was the better fighter.
So the right man won. I was just worried that the judges were... Listen, it's a Jake Paul promotion. So that first judge who went for him by 2 clear rounds, what fight was he watching?
Let me just give you the result again. It was Tommy Fury winning by a split decision. One judge had it 75-74 to Paul, but the other two both had it 76-73 for Fury. And that was despite, of course, Fury getting knocked down in the last round.
That means he was up by 4 rounds.
Yeah.
3.
But minus the knockdown.
Yeah.
I get the decision. That scoring feels a little bit...
You said he weren't going to celebrate, Laurie. He's in tears. He's an emotional wreck in that meant a lot to him.
That shows how much it meant to him to get that. The relief.
Yeah.
That's probably tears.
That's probably all the pressure from all the family pressure, all the boxing pressure.
But also getting cracked in a couple of times that fight and looking like he's going to go down and actually just riding that out.
What I want to say is, will Jake Paul be true to his word and give him double the money?
I think he will.
I think he probably will.
Especially if you're doing a rematch.
Yeah.
And the money means a lot less to Jake Paul than it will to Tommy Fury.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, I'll tell you what, they'll be doing it again.
Oh, definitely.
They'll be doing it again because whatever you want to say, it was a close fight, and close fights mean rematches, don't they?
And people will watch it again as
And
well.
people will watch a rematch again. They will watch the rematch again. And I guess if you're thinking like about Jake Paul, if he can get a bit more polished, he seems to be the harder puncher.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
If you bring in some like different coaches, work on the jab, change up your game a little bit.
Game plan was really strange. Very, very strange game plan.
I'll tell you what surprised me though is that he came out and he took the centre of the ring. I thought it would be the other way around. But the obvious thing that myself and Nick noticed straight away is that Jake Paul has no jab. And in boxing, if you're going to do well, you have to have a decent jab. And that's what won it for Tommy Fury.
For most of Tyson Fury's career, 90% of what he's had is a jab.
Yeah.
And for most of this fight, 90% of what Tommy Fury's done is a jab. You know, their dad teaches them real purist boxing fundamentals of jab and move, and, you know, obviously get knockouts if you can, but play it safe and jab and move, you know?
He looks like the most relieved man on the planet.
100%.
Apparently Fury just said he's well up for the rematch, which
Of course he would.
he would say that. You know, maybe he's well up for the rematch. Amazing Gun says, haha, I told you that Tommy would win. Kane Shazzy says he made his own legacy tonight by fighting a YouTuber. Honestly. Jane Lowe says all the pressure on Tommy, no wonder he's emotional. And Deb's MC669 say, just found your channel and really enjoyed listening to you all and watching you and watching the fight. Made up for me not getting the pay-per-view. So thank you very much for that. Arsenal Manic says, over emotional for someone who said it would be a piece of cake. We did it, Rocky, he says, right? You know what I mean? Tommy controlled the fight completely, said Tobar. This other one, Tommy won it, says Kieran Toner. And Tommy outsmarted Paul, says Mujib Ahmed. Tommy Fury won, says Cease. And let's get a couple more in. Tommy took all the money then from the bet, says Kieran Toner.
I think what I would say, and I'm pretty sure you all agree with me, is that tonight Tommy Fury showed the better fundamentals in there. When you looked at them, if you didn't know who each one was, and you just sat down with no sound on, you're looking at them both fight, you would say that this guy's the better boxer, Tommy Fury.
Yeah.
To Jake Paul's credit, he hung in there, he did land some good punches, and of course he scored the knockdown, and he kept some of the rounds fairly close. But to be fair, the right man definitely got the decision.
And there was one person in this room who went for him before the fight.
No, but I did. No, but
saying.
Before you say that, I did say.
Hold on.
No, hang on. I did say, didn't I not? Before that, I said that Tommy Fury would be the better boxer, but I was worried he'd get robbed on the scorecards.
No,
and it nearly happened.
No, but I said Tommy Fury would win. He had to win this, man.
Yeah.
And I just thought, just get out there and just fight behind that jab, you know.
First of all,
Drake
the curse. I was just about to say that the curse of Drake strikes again. Do not let Drake bet on you.
They're just talking to Jake Paul at the moment, wondering what he's saying there, but they're having a chat with him.
You know what he'll say? He'll put it down to inexperience, and he'll say, I hurt Tommy, I dropped him. Next time we fight, I'll start sooner. I guarantee that.
He didn't embarrass himself.
No, he didn't.
Stuck it in there. I think they both come out of it respectable.
Yeah.
Well, listen, he's fought a fully fledged boxer. He's taken him the distance. He's not knocked him out. He's not knocked him down.
If you're going to lose, that's the best loss to take in that way.
For sure.
By the way, he's saying that he doesn't agree with the decision.
Well, he's bound to say that.
So he's not agreeing with what the judges have said.
He's going to say, I dropped him.
I think
he's giving respect to Tommy Fury, but he does not agree with the decision.
I think it should have been closer. I had it 75-74 like Kane to Jake Paul. Three rounds up to Fury seems a little bit wide.
That's my thing. Decision fine.
Yeah, but the overall
questionable.
decision is fine. It's a questionable decision in favour of Fury, actually, rather than in favour of Jake Paul.
Well, he doesn't agree with the decision, although he's giving respect to Tommy Fury, but he does not agree with the decision.
Keep the script for the second one.
Yeah, exactly.
What he's doing is quite clever. He's planting the seeds for the rematch. Because when you have a rematch, you want there to be that controversy.
And I think you'll get as many people watching.
He's also
it's
saying
not going to be a kind of a dead rematch.
He's also saying that he's been sick twice in the build-up to this fight, and
no one wants to hear that.
And has had a problem with his arm. So
no one wants to hear.
I'll be honest. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
No one cares.
Because if you're the one,
the less he says now, the better.
But nobody goes into any sport, boxing, football, especially boxing, fully fit, not a little niggle, not a bit of sickness, something. There's always something.
Absolutely. Well said.
Well, whatever the excuses are, he has lost the fight. The winner is Tommy Fury. Tommy Fury has won the fight by split decision, and the winner of the fight is Tommy Fury. Guys, I want to thank you for being here today. Nick, thank you for your expertise. Thank you, Kane, for your expertise, and also you, Laurie, as well. And thank you to all of you. So many of you are watching this live. But it was a really good fight in the end, and it is Tommy Fury, the boxer, who's come out on top. Tommy Fury beats Jake Paul on a split decision. If you don't subscribe to this channel, what are you waiting for? Make sure you subscribe right now. We've had some brilliant content going on all day. We've done the League Cup final. We've done the Chelsea-Tottenham game. And also tomorrow, don't forget to check out the weekend roundup. But if you want to be across all your best football and sporting content, check it out right here on DL Sports. And also check out our new channel coming out, our new F1 channel, which is coming very, very soon, called Off Track GP. Make sure you check that out. We're going to be doing all of the Formula One races this season, so check that out. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.